would make it this far. They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic gotta say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitted for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play the same.
Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing. Keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get dangerous. Cause it can get
please don't play no games with me, I promise I'm too much. Ay, I can never let up even if you had enough. Ay, this ain't for the faint of heart, we always playing rough. I had enough, it ain't luck. I needed a vision, I needed ambition, I needed a mission to beat in submission with no intermission. I see the collision, the crash in the distance ain't coming off track, no. Now when they ask what's the motive, don't talk like the show them. They all about to see what I mean in the moment. I gotta keep going, I'm shaking the dice and I'm keeping it rolling. They already know.
Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play the same. Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing. Keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get dangerous. Cause it can get dangerous. Cause it can get dangerous.
I would make it this far, they hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball, I know I make it look easy. Yeah.
All right. Salute to everybody in the building. Salute to everybody in the building with the like button. Oh, it's kind of like fight night, ain't it? It's really like fight night. Salute to everybody in the building. It's pretty much fight night, right? This is gonna be a weird one, kicking off at 4:00 in the morning or something of that nature. I'm going to be covering the fight. It is what it is. Salute to everybody who is in the building. And if you're gonna be up in the morning, definitely stop through. We'll be calling this fight. This is a very interesting card. Just got off of the job today. I had work to do today, just getting in here. So I'm a little, I'm just running in here, chasing myself in here to get on here and build on this last bit of this last look at the fights on this card. I believe we have maybe a fight cancellation on the card, maybe a replacement. I think I did see Turkey said something about that a little bit earlier. I'm not too sure. We'll look into it here on the show and see what happens. It's just me tonight, guys. You know what I mean? The usual suspects are a little tied up in their personal lives. So we'll be building on this here. One last look at this one, and specifically, obviously, the two main fights on the card, the Junto Nakatani fight and, of course, a Naoya Inoue fight that are on the card, and just get some last-minute perspective hours before the actual card takes place, and trying to get some perspective on it. I'm going to go ahead and put in right now. The panel is open. I'll do that as well. I'm kind of moving through this one. You guys know how we've been doing it lately. We're not into the marathons of 4, 5, 6 hour lives and doing all that. We save that for fight night. You know what I mean? For Saturday, normally I'll open up the panel a little bit, let people come up and build, but those shows be long and drawn out, and it is what it is, right? Sometimes you're in the mood, sometimes you're not. I'm a little busier these days than I used to be. So, but the panel will be open. The link is there in the channel to kind of take a view at, get some perspective on everybody and on what to expect on this fight here. Just doing a lot of film study on this one here because the style stylistically, this fight is very interesting for Monster Inoue. No matter how anybody wants to break it down or look at it and just say Monster Inoue is just going to steamroll this guy or knock him out. Look, I'm not too sure about that this time around, guys. I'm not going to, blow any smoke up your backside, right, about this. I'm not too sure about how this fight is going to look all the way. I think that what you're looking at, David Picasso, you're looking at there's a bit of unique energy he brings to the table, and obviously the physical attributes he brings to the table make a big difference in this one as well. His style, the way he fights, and what we've seen Monster Inoue be involved in his last couple of fights, right? We've seen him get put on his pockets. We've seen that fight he had with Roman Cardenas and how competitive that fight was. And if you look at David Picasso and the way he fights, he kind of there's an opportunity here for this guy to smother what Monster Inoue does naturally, right? There's an opportunity there for him to do that behind that jab, the way he attacks the body, the way he, generally speaking, an undefeated fighter who's very used to putting his opponents on their back foot. Now, Monster Inoue can do it from the back. He can step forward. He can fight on his front foot, right? He has great athleticism, a great IQ. He knows how to move around the ring. I'm expecting him to at some point or another properly time David Picasso out, right? Start slipping those shots, attacking that body, right? Some straight left hands to the body, you know what I mean? Maybe behind that jab, probably up high, then stab into the body, and then whatever he can break David Picasso down with at that point. But he still has to get there. And David Picasso is a cerebral fighter, believe it or not. Very intelligent man, right? Very intelligent man. You do your research and your due diligence on David Picasso, you know that this man is looking for, he's chasing down Nobel prizes for medicine. He's a doctor, all kinds of things that intellectually that he's dialed into. This guy is a thinker. And this is going to make the fight interesting because I'm expecting some poise and some patience about this guy that's going to be different than other fighters that Monster Inoue's been in the ring with. And it's going to be interesting to see how this chess match that I believe we're going to see is going to be a chess match, to watch how this chess match ultimately plays out. Let me see here. Salute to everybody in the building. Yeah, let me do a little roll call. I'm a little all over the place this evening, a little bit all over the place. But let me see here. SOB TV. Salute to SOB TV in the building. Mango 6754 in the building says, "Is this boxing?" Yeah, this is boxing. I hope I answered the question pretty simply there. Multiverse Gaming 384 in the building says, "Peace to Clay and the family. Looking forward to the live tonight." Oh, for sure. We're going to be calling that fight for sure. Snowy 190 in the building says, "Hi. Hello back at you." Angel FN says, "Hello, be right back. I have a surprise for you." Oh no, Angel. I don't know what that means. So I don't even know if I want the surprise. On the internet, when you hear stuff like that, it gets wicked on here, right? Snowy says, "What are we talking about?" Oh, we got some new people in the building, huh? Who doesn't follow boxing? You guys just kind of stumbled into the room. All right, well, we'll see. Kaizu, Sulu Kaizu 953 in the building. So I'm back. I got a surprise for you. Yeah, okay. Walaikum salam to my Aki in the building, frequent flyer with the salams, man. Salute. Right, guys. So this fight's going to be interesting. You know what I mean? When you look at the way David Picasso approaches this and Monster Inoue, what he likes to do versus I don't know if we really ever see Monster Inoue too uncomfortable. Even when he got put on his pockets in those fights, he's always seemed free-spirited. He's always seemed very free-spirited with the way he's approached the fight, taking his lumps and continued on with his game plan, a very disciplined fighter within himself. But David Picasso, we know, brings that height, brings the reach, and brings a certain pedigree and IQ about him, the way he attacks. Now, he's still a Mexican fighter at the end of the day, and not to put Mexican fighters all underneath the same umbrella, right? Not everybody is the same, but there is a style, there is an approach to boxing that comes with Mexicans, right? With especially Mexicans directly from Mexico. Usually kind of flat-footed at times, a lot of punching, right? Power punching. And they're always looking to make the event, right? And that's what you see common throughout these fighters. Very, very common. David Picasso is no different. I would say one thing he brings is that he works behind that jab and then he brings it to the body, right? He brings it to the body. He likes to stab to the body. He likes to get his opponent on that back foot. And that's what I'm assuming he's going to try to do with Monster Inoue. And some people might feel like it shouldn't be that way, right? Some people might feel like he's going to be in a dangerous position to be pressing Monster Inoue. And maybe he will be. I don't know, right? I can see that being a dangerous situation. But look, what's better? Pushing and putting Monster Inoue on his back foot and applying that pressure, forcing Monster Inoue into being defensive, maybe even, or giving him something to think about? Or do you sit there in a high guard and kind of just try to counterpunch Monster Inoue? Monster Inoue is very sporadic with his cadence. He'll come in he'll start to pop shot you at times, but he'll also, obviously, once he gets inside and he gets comfortable, start breaking out with those combinations. He'll start ripping to the body, coming over the top. You got to watch out. He's a southpaw as well, right? So you got to watch out for that left hand, those left hands that catch you slipping. This is also going to be one of those fights as well, as far as stylistically speaking. The person who usually, the first thing you're going to see in a fight like this is going to be that battle for the jab, the one who's going to control that portion of the fight. I don't see Monster Inoue really trying to do that. If you ask me, he's probably going to be, his jab is probably going to be that straight left hand to the body, right? Hooking to the body, slipping David Picasso's jab, especially if David Picasso becomes aggressive and tries to be first, which if you watch his fights, you'll see that he does that quite often, that he does try to be first. He usually is first. So in many ways, Monster Inoue can find grace in that, right? He can find some confidence in that, because at the end of the day, he doesn't necessarily have to do the work by himself to cross that void. David Picasso may put himself in a position, even though his mission is to control the distance and keep his opponent at bay on that back foot. Inoue can start to time things out. And that's also what David Picasso has to pay attention to in this fight. It's not to just jab for no reason, not to say, you want to box Monster Inoue when he's fighting, and you want to fight Monster Inoue when he's boxing, right? You want to catch him off guard, and you got to be careful with your cadence, because once he gets that timing down and he gauges that distance and he's able to see shots, if you start telegraphing, for example, and you can start anticipating these shots, well, now you're going to have a complicated situation on your hands, because you're going to have a fighter who's going to be timing you, slipping you, keeping his head off the line, and he has the ability to make you pay badly, right? And also David Picasso coming from 126, right? Coming back down here to fight Monster. And then we've got to see how the weight cut treats him. Is he going to be okay? Does that translate well for him? Him doing all that. All these different pieces here. Salute to everybody in the building. Let me see here. Shout out to 2 Cents in the building. 2 Cents says, got to go straight at him and hope you get him before he gets you. Yeah, it might be that, man. Shout out to the spiritual ministry in the building. Salute. Angel. Oh, we got a super chat in the building. Shout out to Angel FN in the building with the $10 holla. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate the support to the channel, man. Thank you, man. Thank you for the color in the chat, man. Thank you. Guys, remember, hit the like button as you're stepping into the building. Of course, make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't done so. We are trying to hit that 3,000 mark before the end of the year. We got about a week to go, right? So let's see if we can make it happen. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe channel. Let's push the channel. Let me see here. The spiritual ministry said the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up 100%, man. You want to CYA? What does CYA mean? I'm not sure. See ya? I don't know what CYA means. I'm not up to date with all the acronyms and stuff all the time. Sorry. Sorry, right? But that's what's gonna have to happen here for the monster. Well, for David Picasso, really. That's who we're going to be looking at. I think we know what to expect from Monster Inoue and what he normally does. But is David Picasso going to be able to sit there and fight his fight? Because what ends up happening a lot of times is Monster Inoue is also able to pull these fighters into a fight. And when he gets them into those exchanges, that's when he starts punching with you. And that's when it gets kind of diabolical, right? Yeah, cover your ass. No doubt, 2 Sizzle, for sure. 2 Cents, for sure. That's when it gets diabolical for you. So David Allen Picasso, we're going to have to see him in his poise and his patience tonight. I was thinking about the situation and saying, okay, well, David Picasso on the big stage, right? This is definitely going to be the biggest stage he's ever been in. But Riyadh, it's kind of a new stage for everybody, right? Like, although Monster Inoue is a star and he's been, he's always been in front of the crowds of people, he understands how to behave himself in that situation. Riyadh season does bring that unique, intimate setting, right? There's an intimate setting about Riyadh season that's different than damn near any place you're going to fight in, because Riyadh season gives you the feeling and the atmosphere of a ballroom or a smaller, 5 to 10,000 person stadium, but it still has the intensity of a 70,000 person stadium, because I think everybody going in there understands how big that stage is, and that the whole world is there, and that there's a lot of money in the room, a lot of opportunity for the fighters who can give great performances and maybe even more importantly walk away with wins. That there is pressure there, and a lot of fighters bring their best games to that room because they look at it as life-changing circumstances. Anytime you're fighting in Riyadh season, your whole life can change, and that gives a lot of fighters the motivation to step up and bring their best game. You know what I mean? You don't even expect it from some of these fighters sometimes, the way they perform in Riyadh, and that's because they're fighting for their livelihood. I mean, they're always fighting for their livelihood, but in that particular setting, it's a life-changing opportunity for you. So both these fighters, in a way, I mean, even though Monster Inoue arguably is already wealthy and he signed the big the Ring ambassador, right? The Ring magazine ambassador deal with Turkey Al-Sheikh, and I heard it was what was it, like 70, 80, 90 million. I'm not sure how much money it was for however many fights, but a lot of money there for Monster Inoue. But for David Picasso, you got to think that this opportunity is going to mean a lot to him. So that's going to probably bring out a lot of energy that maybe people aren't going to are not going to be expecting to see the kind of performance is going to be. Who knows, right? Now, as far as Nakatani, Junto is concerned, he's making his first appearance at 122. He'll be sitting in the ring dealing with a puncher. To be honest with you, he's stepping up inside of the ring with an absolute I don't want to say knockout artist, but when you have a 90% knockout ratio, right? 20 wins, 18 knockouts, undefeated, right? Specifically his last fight he went with an Azat Hovanesian. I hope I'm saying that correct. This fight ended up going an Eastern European, if you didn't expect it. Took this guy to the full 10 rounds, right? Took him to the full 10 rounds. And that was about it though, right? What is the other fight that he had that let me see something here. What's the other fight that he had? Because he's had 2 of his fights that's gone to the decision. So which one was it? Was it early? Let's see here. Yeah, in 2021 against Mauro Gutierrez Ochoa. And this was a 4-round fight. So this fight was like, he was on prospect level. So this guy's a puncher. I'm saying? Mexican, coming forward. This fight right here, in my opinion, probably has the elements to be fight of the night. Really does, with the way Nakatani approaches it. This is a young kid, 25 years old. I mean, a young man, however you want to look at 25 years old. Is Nakatani jumping into a situation to where, I don't know, right? Like you saw how Jerron Boots Ennis went up to 154 pounds. I know a lot of people are in disagreement with the way Jerron Boots entered the division, fighting the likes of Usman Lima. But, fighters tend to want to acclimate into the division and make sure that everything is going to translate well. The Japanese, the Mexicans, which is also another reason why this card is going to be an exciting card to watch, because both these guys bring it. Both this group of people, both cultures support, exciting fights, putting it on the line. And Nakatani not taking no tune-ups for the most part, and this is a tune-up for him. Then what a tune-up it's going to be. He's going to be in there with a puncher. So is the power going to translate for Nakatani at 122 pounds? I would say probably he will, right? You know what I mean? I would think it translates. But has he been in the ring with a puncher like this before? With somebody who's punching like this particular fighter is? Sebastian Hernandez-Reyes is going to be looking for the knockout. He's going to be a flat-footed Mexican-style fighter. He's coming in looking for those opportunities. It's going to give Nakatani opportunities to time him as well and to get in those shootouts that Nakatani does not mind getting into, but might. This one, could it be more? Is he biting off more than he can chew Keep in mind, both Nakatani and Monster Inoue, of course, have the big fight that's supposed to be lined up in May between Junto Nakatani and Monster Inoue, Naoya Inoue. This is supposed to be the big fight. So, they're risking, and you know how Turkey goes. A lot of people would say, like, this is somewhat of a curse, right? These fights that are supposed to happen, and one of the fighters involved in it, they don't win, right? Like Deontay Wilder did, obviously. We saw Ryan Garcia in New York. So a lot on the line. A lot on the line here for both these guys. And I think this is going to be interesting because people complain a lot about the Japanese fighters, especially Monster Inoue, getting a lot of the shine that they do, but saying that those lower weight classes, Monster Inoue hasn't had to leave Japan unless he wants to, right? He doesn't have to do it. And people have a hard time acknowledging Monster Inoue's being the kind of fighter that we know him to be. I mean, he's clearly on the pound for pound list, so the powers that be that control the Ring Magazine pound for pound list and things of that nature have no issues. They understand what they're looking at when they're looking at Monster Inoue. But a lot of American boxing fans question Monster Inoue in certain ways, thinking that maybe he gets some kind of favor, or they question, whether or not he's, indulged in certain cocktails or things of that nature that allow him to be super strong and have excellent cardio and conditioning and things of that nature, right? I'm not saying that, of course. To be honest with you, I don't think that's the case. But this one right here in Riyadh season, watching Monster Inoue start to take these challenges outside of the country and make these fights happen. He's done it before, of course. It's not his first time doing it, but it does look like it's going to become more of a thing for him. And in the background, of course, floating like a ghost over this whole situation, Bam Rodriguez, who's making his move now, finally transitioning, I believe, looking to make a debut at 118 at some point or another, but very close to making a fight with either one of these guys, and Nakatani or Monster Inoue. And I think the space is ready to see something like that, right? When I was up here last time with my guy Angelo Reyes and Ray Davis, we talked about this, right? We talked about Bam Rodriguez and how he's on the verge, on the cusp of doing something special in the space. Gets a lot of respect already on the pound for pound list, but these lower weight classes, once again, not celebrated as much as, they're not celebrated here in the States as much as the 130, 135. That's usually the lowest we go, right? 130, 135, maybe 126. Right, maybe 126, depending on who's there, but 130 and up is usually where we're at as far as American fan base is concerned. Those 14, 15, whatever those weight classes, 112, 118, 122. We generally don't really rate those fighters like that, even though, in my opinion, that's where a lot of the pedigree is in boxing. That's where you're going to see the sweet science. That's when you're going to see the movement. That's when you're going to see the high volume punching, right? You're going to see a lot of great things if you're into boxing when you watch those those little guys, those smaller guys do the work, right? It is what it is. Let me see here what we're looking at here. Monyo, salute Claymore, the Rain Man, no doubt. Salute. Top Dog in the building says, Inoue legit, he beat MJ. Yeah, Inoue is 100% legit. But now the competition, I believe, is going to start stepping up for him, because now there's conversations of Monster Inoue not only, fighting the likes of a Bam Rodriguez, but even going up to 126 and fighting the likes of a Shushu Carrington or Nick Ball, right, or any of those fighters up there doing their things at 126. This is when the game becomes way more competitive and way more risky for Monster Inoue. Now he's starting to really showcase who he is, and I think this fight right here against David Picasso may very well be his first real test into this new world. Take it how you want to take it, right? Take it how you want to take it. I don't want to discredit any of the fights at all that Monster Inoue's ever been in. I think he's a great fighter, pound for pound. I think the eye test doesn't lie. Obviously, a two-weight class undisputed champion. We're not playing that game, right? We're not going to sit here and take away from who he is. But after a while, he's in his mid-30s. The competition starts stepping up. This is a young, hungry, intelligent, cerebral, tall, long arm reach, very cerebral David Picasso, right? This is a level up in competition, I believe, for Monster Inoue. Or will it be? Maybe that's the big question. Will it actually be a level up in competition for him? Oh, shout out to my guy, man, to the OG in the building, True Media Podcast. Salute, Coach Malachi. Salute. Monyor says, I believe the Shushu should get that fight if the monster moves up. Yeah. I mean, I think it would be great for Shushu to get that fight. Announcements have been made, obviously, right? Announcements have been made on that Ring 6 card, and it looks like that card's going to be crazy. That card is about to be stacked 100%. You can see it. You can smell. I mean, that card is going to be insane. I mean, the return of Keyshawn Davis. If you love boxing, then you miss Keyshawn. I don't care who you are. I know people wanted to sit there and kick Keyshawn's back in because of an incident he had in the back of, not making weight. And, listen, not Keyshawn Davis's best look by any measure, right? But ready to throw him out like the baby with the bathwater for what? I don't know. The boxing space can be very toxic and temperamental at times, but Keyshawn Davis was an up-and-coming future star in the boxing space. Even when he entertained talking about retirement or talking about the way he looked, obviously he was down and out on the whole outlook on boxing, watching how much ridicule he got. A lot of fighters, especially the great fighters who get celebrated, they find out the truth about boxing on their way down. When they're falling down, you see how the fans move the needle. It's unfortunate, but part of the game as well. You're getting paid a lot of money. You're a star. The standards are so much higher for you and so much more higher expectations for you. When you fall short, people are going to criticize. Some people can be respectful and criticize in a fair way across the board that you should take with a grain of salt and understand that, if you are moving weird, then you're going to get criticized accordingly. But then you have fans who are just looking for a reason to kick you in the back. And I think Keyshawn got enough of that and had to kind of mentally get dialed back in. But I loved watching him on the social media space today, really just go off. And you saw how excited he was to have a fight lined up. He'll be fighting Jermaine Ortiz on the undercard of Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, I believe, is a co-main event. So like he never left, right? 140 pounds, I believe this is where the fight's going to be, even though rumors have been circulating about him even willing to go up to 147 to fight the likes of Devin Haney. You're seeing a lot of these fighters. And listen, you can give it to the Terrence Crawford situation, right? We can say that Terrence Crawford has blazed a trail for fighters who want to be celebrated at the highest level. Now, understanding there's a lot of money and legacy, these fighters are looking to make the biggest fights they can make. And it's so funny because after Terrence Crawford gets into it with Mauricio Suleiman and the sanctioning bodies on social media for the world to see, what are you seeing now? You're seeing fighters who are looking to make the biggest fights, and they're not even concerned with the unification and becoming, undisputed and things of that nature. They are chasing down that Ring magazine, and the titles play their role in putting them in that position. But if you look, for example, at the 154-pound rankings on Ring magazine, they have Virgil Ortiz at number 1, someone who doesn't even have a title, right? So take it how you want to take it. Right? Take it how you want to take it. Now you're seeing Shakur Stevenson making this fight with Teofimo Lopez, and look how he's ready to go ahead and vacate that belt when he's done winning that, right? He's not talking about campaigning at 140 and unifying and becoming undisputed. What's the next fight they're talking about afterwards? They're talking about him potentially going up to 147 directly afterwards to fight maybe a Devin Haney or fight a Conor Benn, right? So he's looking for the biggest fights possible. He's looking to make legendary fights happen. And I think that's interesting because there's an argument there to say that these fighters are doing what they're doing and they're trying to and showing you that they're going to be great in spite of the sanctioning body titles. There was a point in time where I would have said the titles matter. And I know a lot of people have been saying things about the titles not mattering for years. Shout out to the Gervonta Tank Davis fans, right? Who hated when we brought up unifications and becoming undisputed and all those things that some of us fans were looking to see him be involved in. I don't know if it was the titles so much that we wanted to see him chase, but we wanted to see him chase his peers. The champions in the division would have been his peers, right? Him being a WBA champion, him fighting other champions would have been him fighting the other people in the division that were calling themselves champions or being called champions to find out who the best was going to be. But to the Gervonta Tank Davis fan base, to their credit, always was pushing forward that the belts don't matter. Now, on the tail end of Terrence Crawford becoming a 3-weight class undisputed champion, a 4-time Ring Magazine champion, a 5-weight class champion, to see him challenge the sanctioning bodies the way he just did, all of a sudden you're seeing fighters just boldly coming out and saying, we don't care about the belts. We don't care about the belts at all. And is it that they don't care about being champions, or they don't care about legacy? I don't think that's what it is necessarily, but I do think there's a corrupt side to the sanctioning bodies that's always been there, and fighters just becoming more emboldened to call it out, especially right now when it seems like there are options on the table for fighters to be great, to make great fights, and not necessarily have the titles involved in the conversation, right? So now you're starting to see how the energy is going, and Keyshawn Davis is part of that energy. He's looking to make the best fights, and right now it's him and Jermaine Ortiz on that undercard. I believe Bruce Shushu Carrington will be fighting Carlos Castro, right? And that will be for an elevation for the WBC title, for that 126-pound championship title, and that's an important move, I think. I gotta agree. I know Shushu's still part of that legacy conversation. He wants to do that, but also wants to make the biggest fights in that division. The Rafael Espinosas, the Nick Balls, right? The Angela Leos, all those big fights that he wants to make, and he understands he needs to bring something to the table that may interest these fighters, because a lot of fighters are still connecting their whole entire trajectory next to the ability to become unified and be champions. So big fight for Shushu. I believe Jarrell Big Baby Miller is on that card as well. He hasn't been in the ring in a while. He's had fights fall through that he wanted to get put together, and they wasn't able to do it. And part of the conversation of that American heavyweight boxing scene, right, about that American heavyweights, he's part of that conversation, right? He's there to we don't have that guy yet, right? You got Richard Torres, you got him, you got Deontay Wilder, you got Jared Anderson. I mean, it's not very right. There's not a lot of good pickings out there, I'm saying, in the American heavyweight division. But Jarrell Big Baby Miller is one of ours, and he does bring it in the ring, right? And he's lost one fight in his career, let's be honest, against Daniel Dubois, and that fight right there was a fight of the year candidate. So this guy definitely brings it. He's going to be on that card. That's going to make a big difference. Who else is on that card? I don't know, man. Shout out to my brother Mac Victor 4854, big brother Claymore, speaking that combat gospel, no doubt. That's my legitimate, literal brother in real life. Same mama. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Eduardo Alvarez in the building, says it was that shady shit he did with his brother. Come on, Eduardo. Come on. Stop it. You guys got to stop it with Keyshawn, man. I mean, I don't know what was so shady. You know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, listen, man, they're fighters, man. It takes maturity to be in control of your emotions. And Keyshawn Davis has already spoken and been transparent with the boxing space about his mental health battles. You know what I mean? Not to say that this dude's like, crazy or anything like that, but at the end of the day, he had an off weekend, to say the least. Nahir Albright is okay. From what I understand, he was nowhere near being jumped. I think it just got hostile back there, and it could feel like you're being jumped when you're in the back of your enemy's territory in Virginia, especially after you beat Keyshawn Davis's brother. It got spicy. It is what it is. But look, call it what you want to call it. At the end of the day, Keyshawn Davis is a talent that I'd have been so disappointed, and I would have felt so much that it had been a tragic situation not see Keyshawn Davis fight again in the ring. He's such a talent. I mean, at the peak of his career, before he got in trouble, because he was literally at the mountaintop and fell from the mountaintop, this dude was being compared as a young Terrence Bud Crawford. You don't just let that go away, right? You don't do that. Come on, man. Fighters get into it. Things happen. Y'all got to get out y'all feelings. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it feels like there's some narratives and some vendettas going on in the backspace that comes out in the wash when these opportunities come for you guys to jump out the bushes and really let the world know how you're really feeling, right? Sometimes it looks like that. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it is that, Just saying sometimes it looks like that. You know, I'm sure I'm getting it wrong and twisted, right? It is what it is. Oh, there he is in the background. Let me pull up my brother up here, man. Shout out to my guy, co-host, Ray M. Effin Davis in the.
What up, though? I know it look like that.
What's good, Ray? You're definitely muted. You're definitely
Am I muted?
No, you're not. You're good now. You're good now.
All right. That's because you got the sound going. You got the claps going. You know what I mean? The applause is just outweighing my voice right now with this little distraction I have. I ain't got a cold. I just got a sinus infection. But anyway, let's keep it 100, bro. Keep it 100. I've been listening. I had to deal with the wife for a second. You know, I talked to her about some stuff. And
we got to talk to him sometimes, right? We got to talk to him.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. They need love too. They need more love than anybody. You know what I mean?
They need that open ear, and they need to know that you're there. You know what I'm saying? That you're willing to listen to the complaints or even, you know, their issues they're having outside of y'all, right? They got lives too.
Exactly. So. But yeah, man, it ain't cold in here. It's cold out there though. It's actually
snowing on the way, man. Shout out to everybody in the Northeast right now. I'm in the Northeast.
Snow.
We're about to. Is it snowing out there right now?
Yeah,
it is. It's not snowing here. Amazingly enough, it didn't snow here. It actually hailed over here. A lot of ice and stuff like that. It was all over the place. You know, we salted the driveway. We salted everything down. So we'll see what it looks like in the morning. But yeah, we're in the middle of it. I'm hearing that we're supposed to be getting smacked like 2 or 3 storms back to back. I guess it's supposed to be for the next 2 or 3 weeks. We're supposed to really getting.
Oh damn, we're gonna look like Michigan, bro.
Yeah, Michigan is getting destroyed. Michigan, Illinois, all out there in the Midwest, they're getting spanked in real life.
Hey, it is what it is, baby.
Yeah, bro.
Listen, I don't know where you were at because I lost you for a minute.
I was just all over the place, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously, you know what it's all about. It's all about this fight in the morning. But, you know, I think right now I was just talking about the Keyshawn Davis situation, how excited I am personally seeing him making a return. I think Jermaine Ortiz is a great opponent. I didn't get into the Jermaine Ortiz into the fight per se as much as Keyshawn's journey to this point and how, you know the boxing space. You know how we can be.
Well, the most beautiful thing about this is something that weighed on my mind earlier is he's been preparing for this, he's been preparing for that, but now he actually has an answer. You know what I mean? Jermaine Ortiz is speaking of. Because, you know, they've been announcing Hitchens for the last 2 weeks. He's preparing for this guy. Now he's got to switch up his cadence, and he's got to focus and go do some homework on Keyshawn.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? But because there's so much time in between there and the fight, you know what I mean? He's already in camp because he knew he had a fight coming anyway. Now he can continue to prep for this fight and just focus on where his strengths and weaknesses are and what he needs to improve on and where Keyshawn's weaknesses are, where he can expose them or try to expose them, let's just say the least. Because I don't want to say anybody can be exposed. Anybody can be exposed, but you know what I mean? For Jermaine's part, he needs to figure out his game plan, and they got to come up with one. So I think with the enough time for this fight and the things that's happening is great. Now, on the other end of that, I don't know if you heard Hitchens is seeking Frank Martin.
No, I didn't, which is good. Yeah. I'm glad because I was definitely going to ask what's up with that because, like you said, that was what the negotiations were supposed to be all about. That's what we were supposed to be getting ready to see, and that didn't happen. But Frank Martin, listen, that's a legitimate. Listen, man, that's a fight.
Yeah, and here's
Frank Martin's last performance.
Here's the funny part: Hitchens he's got the Floyd Schofield slippers on. I call them Cinderella slippers. They make the fight and they find a way out of it. Or I'm just hoping that he goes through with it. I think he's trying to catch Frank Martin off a short layoff. To be honest, because he's trying to fight in February. So he's trying to catch him on the short layoff or short timing, and he believes that he has something with fighting Frank Martin. And I don't think Hitchens is really into boxing, bro. It's just my opinion. I think it's something like he just wants the bag, and I think he's outpricing himself, and he thinks it's going to be the bigger payday. I don't know if Eddie's convincing him of this or whatever the case may be, but he's about this money right now, and you can see how he's moving, how he's getting away from certain things. It's like, I don't want to settle for smaller fights. I want to settle for the bigger fights. I don't care anymore. I already proved my point. He even had an interview where he said something along those lines, like, I'm a big fight. They need to come fight me. They need to pay me. I'm like, this guy is lost his rocker, bro. What has he done besides be champion? I think he was talking about Matias and
probably Matias and Gary Antoine, right?
And Antoine talking about he's the A side and he needs the bag. I'm like, bro, that era is over. I don't know what you know what I mean? We just left that era literally 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Watch all these guys fight for legacy. When are you going to fight for legacy? When are you going to get your head out of your ass, your hands out of your pockets, and start worrying about what's in front of you and how you can build your name and make yourself some money by fighting instead of talking about what you're going to do? That's the only thing that bothers me with Richard Hitchens.
Yeah, Richardson, I agree with you 100%. I can't even everything you said, man, I thought was on point because it's true, man. There's definitely a lot. There's a disenchantment from the sport, and a lot of these fighters who jump onto these mantras of, you know, the prize fighting mantra, which is cool, right? Like everybody's a prize fighter, right. But when it starts to conflict with the assignment, which is fighting, and you're doing a lot more outside of the ring things than you're doing inside of the ring, that's when it becomes unbalanced, right? It's like you're outside the ring saying a lot, but we don't see you inside the ring enough. Teofimo Lopez was in that box, in that category for a moment, for a good minute as well, just doing a lot of outside the ring things, and it wasn't translating into fights inside the ring. Hitchens is doing the same thing. He's speaking in a way to where it's getting to the point now where he's becoming somebody who looks like he's trolling, where he doesn't look like he's serious, like you can't take him seriously. And, you know, naturally, just like you said, let's see what happens with this. I mean, this is a rumor, right? Circulating in the negotiation that's still open as far as between him and Frank Martin. But let's see if he makes the concessions, you know, to make a fight happen for himself. He just lost this one. I thought this was damn near done. I thought the Jermaine Ortiz fight was almost done. I was kind of shocked to see Keyshawn Davis be announced as the opponent for Jermaine Ortiz. You know what I'm saying? You can't help but ask the question: did Richardson Hitchens price himself out of that situation? You can't help but think that. We don't know, but you know, he's starting to get this reputation about him to where you have to start asking yourself, like, yo, bro, so what's happening now? Is he joining the $10 million minimum club now? Is he need at least $10 million to make a fight? And what does that really mean in real time? If you really think you can win, and, you know, obviously we know what Floyd Schofield Sr. and Jr. with that whole $10 million to fight Abdullah Mason, but on the other side say that you want to fight him and you want to do this, but do you? Because actions speak louder than words. And if you're pricing yourself out in a way that's unrealistic, there's an argument there to say that you don't really want to fight. You've been in the business long enough to understand what's realistic versus what's not realistic. You know, if you're asking for $10 million, if that's something legitimately you could get or not. And if you're asking for it and you know you probably ain't gonna get it, you probably doing it on purpose to not make the fight happen.
Exactly.
Right? It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Shout out to 2 Cents in the building saying that Cigar Talk interview was not a good look. He was much more likable on the YSM interview. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate when these fighters get into this, but the reality is, though, Ray, let's be real. Boxing today will move right past them, right? Like, yes, as you can see, Jermaine Ortiz went to the next one real quick. He made himself a fight. He got himself on a card. He's going to get himself a bag, but more importantly, he's going to get active inside of that ring. So nobody's waiting on you and nobody's looking. You're not the only play in town, clearly, right? You're clearly not the only play in town.
Exactly.
But that being said, it's going to be interesting to see Keyshawn Davis return. Let's see what the layoff did for him. Did he get better? Did he get stagnant? Is he digressing? And do we have any word on the trainer situation with Keyshawn Davis? Is that been spoken about?
I mean, I've heard Bomac is still in the corner, but I heard it's just like when they were talking about him moving places, he was talking about like probably just getting out of Top Rank, getting out of a lot of different, like he's definitely closing a lot of doors. Bomac might have just been retiring on the fact just to throw this out there. I'm not saying it's true. Let's be clear that this is not true. It's speculation from Ray Davis. He might be just taking the wave of Bud Crawford and be like, look, that was my guy. That was really the only fighter I was really into training. And if he's walking away, I'm walking away with him. Keyshawn, go find another trainer. Lester Martinez, go find another trainer. You guys can still use my gym, but you can work with this guy, but you're not working with me. Like, I'm done. So I can see that, unless Bomac feels that he still has the need for that. But I was told that Bomac is still in his corner, and that they didn't really break up. They're just more of a he's just getting rid of a lot of dead weight to him. He's training with Ron Sims. There you go. Clay, inside sources say Bomac has some tensions, but it's all up. There you go. Thanks, Just Do. Appreciate that, bro. Because I've heard something different.
No doubt, Just.
I did hear something different, but I'm glad you clarified that. See?
No doubt. I mean, that we're gonna have to see how this new trainer, how they gel. Let's see what ends up happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Listen, man, it's kind of, for me, it's a little disappointing because I feel like Keyshawn was doing so well with Bomac, to be honest with you. You know, you don't normally see, I mean, usually a fighter has a downfall, loses, or I don't know, you know what I mean? Things of that nature. But this ain't the situation, right? But we don't know what was going on in that camp, obviously, going into that fight that he was supposed to have with Edwin De Los Santos, and what the reasoning was behind him actually not making that weight, right? We don't know really what happened. You know what I mean?
Right.
And see, Just Who says Ron Sims, one of the best in the game. He's in great hands, no doubt. Well, you know, I mean, I'm believing that Keyshawn Davis and his team aren't going to put together nothing. I'm sure Ron Sims checks the boxes. But at the same time, the relationship, the chemistry, right? That's what matters at the end of the day.
It comes down to the athlete, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, the trainer can give you the plan. It doesn't matter. A coach is a coach. It's how you perform with the installed lessons that the coach gives you. And are you too big for the coach? He's showing sometimes, excuse me, as a egotistical mindset at times.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to be too big for the moment? Is he not? I'm hoping for the best. I hope it works out when you have changes like this. But if he's willing to put in the work, which he showed me he has been, I see nothing but success for him. So,
yeah. It's going to be interesting to see him put it together. He's in front of a well experienced, well-rounded, good experience in Jermaine Ortiz. He's been in the ring. He's been in some great fights. He's been in there with T.O. He's been in there with Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's been in he's seen some great opponents. He's a fighter who's been looking for that opportunity to get back into the right conversations. He's been moving himself accordingly. So this is a huge opportunity for him on one of the biggest cards of 2026. This card probably is going to set the standard for the year, right? This card is probably going to set the year off and going to be the standard, like, you know what I mean, the measuring stick to a lot of other cards that's going to be going on that year. So to be part of that card and be a co-main event as well, it's a step up for Jermaine Ortiz. I'm expecting him to bring his A game in there. We remember the way he fought Teofimo. He's a little bit more elusive, stayed out the way, boxed. Do you expect him to? You think he's going to come in the ring with that type of energy towards the Keyshawn? Because Keyshawn is a puncher, a dangerous fighter, man.
I don't know. I've seen Jermaine fight multiple ways. He's definitely more of one of the slicker fighters. Very, very at the end of the jab leading type person, and looking for you to make mistakes for him to capitalize on.
Mm-hmm.
Jermaine Ortiz has changed a little bit though since that T.O. loss. He's got, I think, 3 straight stoppages, 3 TKOs.
Mm-hmm.
So he looks to be on a mission of getting more engaged with his fighters. And you got to remember, I think he was doing fine. Everybody called him a runner. I'm like, bro, did y'all not realize he didn't back up until he got his head split open? I mean, he was backing up, but he was using the jab. You know what I mean? He was engaging. He didn't really stay away from T.O. till T.O. headbutted him and, cut his eye open. And then he was like, he can't see. So you basically seen it. If you don't believe me, go watch the fight.
Yeah, not only that he couldn't see, but I think he didn't want the fight to get stopped or any kind of nonsense that happened. He thought he could coast into the point situation and win it on points. Correct. I agree with you 100%. But I think the big thing with Jermaine Ortiz going that fight, and you tell me if you agree or disagree with it, though, was kind of like where Jermaine Ortiz fell short, even with the Lomachenko fight. People was like, yeah, he wasn't turning it up in the championship rounds. And they expected him to do that in this fight. But I agree with you 100% that the headbutt kind of got in the way of that. So it does look like since then he's had this whole entire different approach to it. And I mean, it's great for boxing, for the fans. We're loving what we're seeing. But is that the safe way to approach a Keyshawn Davis? I mean, is he popping like that? I mean,
Keyshawn's going up to a new weight class. I mean, punch resistance is a little different. I'm not saying it's like totally different. It's only 5 pounds. But it is a bigger weight class. He's got a notable fighter in front of him. It's not like this guy shouldn't be undefeated, to say the least, right? I mean, he was robbed, and I believe everyone in here believes he was robbed 2 fights. The Loma fight, we could say he let that get away in the 12th round, and we could also say that the Teo fight after the cut kind of like slowed down his progress. So 2 of those fights were close enough where I believe they stole the fights from him. But yeah, I think he's game, bro. I think he's nice enough to do what he has to do. That's why I was looking forward to the Hitchens fight, because I was like, yo, he's cerebral. He's a really good fighter. Now Keyshawn has another gear to me. Can he beat Keyshawn? Absolutely. But it depends on what we see from Jermaine. What does he get shook? Is he afraid of power? Like, where does he come in the ring and engage at? Or does he sit there and he box Keyshawn, like, and give him something that he's not used to, having somebody stand in front of him boxing? Because most of the people that fought Keyshawn stood in front of him and they tried to fight him. If you watch the last couple of fights he had, besides Barenchek, right?
Nahir Albright, you know what I'm saying, boxing.
But then that was a close fight. I was going there, right? Yeah. And that was a close fight. A lot of people thought that was like almost an upset. So do we see a similar thing with this type of fight? But yeah, man, we'll have to wait and see. Only time will tell. And
maybe Jose Pedraza, maybe?
He did box him a little bit. Yeah, I think that was that. But he got once he packed him with that right hook, bro, it was over.
Right. So, I mean, Keyshawn may be in a situation where if Jermaine brings the right game plan, he may have to do what Teofimo couldn't do, right? Which is cut that ring off and things of that nature. And really, this could be the boxing class that we need to see from Keyshawn to a certain degree. Just do salute to you, family. How you, King?
Peace, Jersey.
My guys, Clay and Ray, what's good with it, family?
How the weather treating you out there, man? Y'all ready? Y'all locked down? Y'all got everything y'all need?
Nice and cold, and try to prep a little bit for some snow that's supposed to be on the way.
Right. Well, it's good though. You got family, you got the kids, you got the wife. You know what I'm saying? It's a good time to be intimate with the family. You know what I'm saying, and be inside and all that. Right.
I'm a homebody anyway, so right up my alley. You got it. You know it.
There's certain age in Jersey, bro. You got to stay in the house, bro, because these streets is wild.
Nice and cold out there.
The kids is crazy.
Yeah, man. Cooking on it, man.
This card looks like it's going to be. This card has come together, right? There was always questions about what the undercard was going to look like, but in my opinion, this is a somewhat stacked card. I ain't gonna lie. That's how it's feeling to me. How's it feeling to you?
Yeah, pretty solid, man. It's hard to complain about this. I think Keyshawn was a really good, interesting addition. You know, nothing wrong with the Hitchens and Jermaine Ortiz. I was looking forward to that, but Keyshawn brings a different element, so different style in there. So should be good, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. Ortiz got a lot of experience, man. Y'all was hitting on a lot of the points and fighting not only Teo but Loma as well. He did both. He fought well in both fights. Loma, I think he just did so well early. I think that mental pressure that Loma just put on you got to be on point. And I feel like that mentally fatigued him down the stretch, where Loma kind of stole it from him. Teo, thought he paced himself better. He had a different game plan. You've seen what it was. He exploited Teo on that front foot. He boxed and moved when he wanted to, but it just wasn't enough. He kind of left it in the air, but I think they took that one from him more so than the Loma. Loma, the experience caught up to Jermaine. I think with Teo, this was one of them things where you kind of left it in the air, but I still felt like he executed better.
Right.
They took it from him. So it's going to be, interesting to see what approach he takes with Keyshawn, right? Because if you watch enough of Jermaine Ortiz, he's known, like, I've seen him be aggressive as well. He's on the front foot trying to go get you. So it's like, what is going to suit him best? Is he going to try to go after Keyshawn? He's been out for some time, new weight class for him, right? Is he going to try to, like, show him, like, this, you don't belong here, or you new here, right? And bully him, or, try to take the fight to him, or is he going to try to, box and move and be smart? It's going to be something to think about. I can't say I know which way he's going to come in the fight right now.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And Keyshawn he's so young in his career. I mean, he's accomplished something great by becoming a champion at 135, but 13-0 regardless, right? Like, regardless, 13-0 is the number of professional fights been in, and that within itself is prospect-ish. Do you think Keyshawn has a prospect energy about him still, even though he's become champion? I mean, I don't think he's a prospect at all, but does it kind of feel like that at times when you really look at his body of work?
Because it's the number of fights that it is, Clay. That's what it gives us that feel. Like, damn, he's so early. Like, is he still in that prospect stage? But I guess they matched him up pretty solidly, right? He don't got a lot of guys with upside down records, so I think his pedigree is what's going to help him in this fight. Particularly, I think when you come into the game with a particular pedigree, you're able to get matched up a bit differently. I think this is a product of that. You get what I'm saying? I think they believe in him, and I don't think he'll be like a fish out of water, right? In this fight, I don't think the moment will be too big and none of that. So I think he brings an interesting dynamic with his Olympic pedigree, and again, preparation is going to be key for this fight. So as long as he prepared, man, I expect Keyshawn to do what he do. I expect him to win. But back to your question, as far as that average or that prospect, should I say, I get it. It's the number of fights, I think. You get what I'm saying? He's still so early in the game, man.
Yeah, it's definitely the experience, right? Just like it's definitely the reality of the situation. It's kind of like with Abdullah Mason a little bit, right? When you look at the way that fight with him and Sam Noakes, when he got into the big show, you kind of saw the young energy he has about him, just mentally, the experience, the lack of experience, and you saw that fight move the way it did, and we were excited to watch it, right? Like, that fight was an exciting fight, but still, he got hit maybe a little too much. He was a little too available. He could have boxed a little more. There was still some criticism there for Abdullah Mason. I think good criticism. Like, most people were very excited and happy, and they feel very optimistic about his future, right? They like future face of boxing is on his jacket right now. That's what they're kind of looking at him. But still, we saw that inexperience show its face in his first 12-round fight and going to full 12 rounds in his first 12-round fight. Keyshawn kind of has that too. The adversity has been more outside the ring than it's been inside the ring for Keyshawn, right? So there's an argument there to say that he hasn't really been properly tested, maybe a little bit all the way. Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, that's fair. Think about his even his title fight. I mean, we like to think that he picked up a fair amount of experience, but how long did that fight go? You get me? So what you're saying is spot on. It's still some questions that can be answered fully, right? Like, we've seen that, all right, the moment itself, the championship fight, you handled it well, but, what about with a fight actually, going further than them couple rounds, right? You know what I'm saying? And with a guy that has been, although this is not a title fight, you're fighting a far more experienced guy than even the guy that fought with the title. You get what I'm saying? That Lomachenko, 12 rounds, Teofimo, 12 rounds. He even fought Antonio Moran for what it's worth, right? Joseph Adorno, Suleiman Sagawa. Like, he got a lot of experience on his side, Jermaine Ortiz, in terms of like being tested, and he got through a lot of those. The only two that he came up short was obviously Loma and Tio, and then the draw was against, I believe, Adorno. But he's definitely more battle tested than Keyshawn. So what you're saying makes perfect sense. There's still some questions there to,
now they have
see how far you can get that.
They have a common opponent in Nahir Albright, right? There's a common opponent there. And is there an argument, do you think, there to say that Jermaine Ortiz dominated Nahir Albright or fought Nahir Albright better than Keyshawn did, right? Like, what did you think about? I mean, have you had an opportunity to rewatch those? I probably haven't, right? I'm going to rewatch the fights myself, but I mean, the scorecards were it was like a unanimous decision for Jermaine Ortiz. He pretty much outclassed Nahir Albright for 10 rounds. The Keyshawn fight, right? The Keyshawn fight, people were like up in the air. They said that, Keyshawn actually faced some adversity in that, and people kind of feel like it could have went, if it would have went the other way, people wouldn't have been upset. Right? If it would have went to Nahir, it'd be like, damn, it was a close fight. So listen, Jermaine is just, I guess, to the point, Jermaine is just properly tested. He is the experienced fighter in this situation. Right?
He's seasoned.
Yeah, he brings that, he brings that pedigree to the table. And this is a real step up for Keyshawn Davis. This is a legitimate step up. Some would argue his first real step up, because Dennis Berincheck, you know what I mean?
Arguably the best on his resume, you think?
Yep.
There's an argument to that, right? The best guy he fought to date. It's the experience. Again, Jermaine Ortiz is really a slept-on guy. I said it when I thought it was going to be Hitchens in there. I said the same things. I'm like, this dude fought a nice amount of guy got that seasoning to him, man. It's really up to him. What approach are you going to bring? Because that's going to tell me everything I need to know about the night. I'm telling you, if you got to mix it up, is what I'm saying. It can't be too much of one thing. I think if he goes on the front foot too heavy, he got that tendency to taper down and back in. That's not going to be good for him. Keyshawn knows how to slow a fight down and go through the gears, so that wouldn't be smart. And you can't afford giving it past. Do you want to go out there and try to move around all night? Because that hasn't worked in your favor. So him, it's about finding that medium, that balance, bro, between the two. When you need to be, offensive on the front foot, and when you need to back up off. Because, man, with Keyshawn, man, you going to have your hands full.
Yeah. He's the type of person who, when he smells blood, he's a closer. He's a 100% closer. Yeah. Like, if you show if you get hurt, he's not the type to let that go away. He's going to jump on that and close the show up. So you got to be on your game with Keyshawn.
He had a fight recently too, where he's been touched way too much. Ortiz did. He just looked real lackluster. I'm trying to think, was it his last fight?
2 fights ago.
In August? One of them. So 1 or 2. You might be right, Craig. Right? Yeah, about 2 fights ago, maybe.
Yeah. Yomar Alamo in Orlando?
Yeah. Alamo. Right.
Yep. He came out a little slower and stuff. And
a little up and down.
Yeah, it was, yes. But I think he ended up getting stoppage with dude. But here's the thing. When you guys mentioned Albright, you got to remember that was a change of Keyshawn Davis. That was to get back in camp and take it more seriously. Let's go get a championship, right? Let's look how close this was. You know what I mean? That was a wake-up call, in my opinion. Jermaine Ortiz, for some reason, hasn't gotten a wake-up call, though he has he got a little page. You know what I mean? A couple of buzzes, boop, boop, boop. You know what I mean? He called back, but he ain't get woken up yet, because with the Teo fight, he has shown that he doesn't want anything to go the way the way that did. Like, he dominating the fight. Still feel, and I think everyone and their mom that watched this fight was like, yo, this dude got robbed. But I don't think he wants that no more. So I think he's putting more instance, like you were saying, more towards stopping the fight. Once the fight goes on, he gets comfortable, pushing the fight. That can be bad with a Keyshawn Davis, to say the least. And he does need to know when to back down, when to use his jab, when to throw feints, because that's what's going to be important. The feints are going to be important for Jermaine Ortiz in this fight. He's got to land something to make him respect the feint, though. But if he doesn't land nothing on Keyshawn to make him respect it, forget about it.
Nobody's, once we know there ain't real bullets in there, it's like, come on, bro.
Right. That's
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if you don't believe
in
me,
there bluff.
You can't point no gun that got fake bullets at it and get my chain. That ain't gonna work.
And then you're bluffing all night,
Yeah.
right? Gotta put something behind it.
Once you shoot at me and I'm looking at my body, I'm like, oh,
right.
yeah, bro. We done with the gun.
Pace is important too. I wonder with the pace, man, because like I said, you cannot afford to taper down. That has cost him big time in fights, and some of his biggest fights, you got to find a pace that you can operate at without having those lulls in the fight or those like somewhat significant drop offs where you allowing the guy to kind of build momentum on you. You can't keep giving up. Like, you get what I'm saying? It got to a point with that Loma fight where you seen it. You got tired giving up round after round. You can't do that. You can't do that with Keyshawn, man. You can't put yourself in a hole. You better have an answer for everything he doing, and vice versa. Because it's gonna be a battle of the mind.
AKA 2 cents, 2 sizzle with the facts here. Jermaine is a switch hitter. He absolutely is. He can fight both unorthodox and orthodox. So, I mean, that helps him a little bit. And he's dominant. I think he was down. Then he hurt his hand in one fight. He switched up and was like, I think that was a Loma fight, right? He switched up. Oh no, that was T.O. And he was like killing T.O. with the fighting from the left side of the ring. Remember, he came out and everybody thought he was going to fight orthodox, and he fought most of that fight against T.O. at Southpaw.
Yeah, I think he has the ability for sure to give Keyshawn the looks.
Yes.
And that's going to make Keyshawn have to adjust and maybe make it to where Keyshawn's not as comfortable as he can be. He's smart, man. Like I said, that experience he's had against real high level fighters, against just the actual Lomachenko and the Teofimo fight alone, those 24 rounds are so valuable. Such a part of his DNA of who he is now as a fighter. Keyshawn hasn't had those fights that have forced him to develop. I mean, we've seen him adjust. I think 2024 was like his year. I think he was in comeback of the fighter year conversation. Coming back from what happened with him in the here Albright and him having that fight turn to a no contest, and the 3 fights he had that year, he made a huge comeback that year. He was right in the same conversation that year as Daniel Dubois. Right, a lot of these guys who just made a resurgence back into the space, but beating up a Jose Pedraza, who was long in the tooth and probably not supposed to be fighting at 135 anymore, beating up a Miguel Madueno, who nobody really heard of like that, but still a great fight. You know what I'm saying? Getting in the ring and stopping our boy
Gustavo
who?
Gustavo Lemos.
Yes, Gustavo Lemos, right. And then obviously closing the year out, or opening the year in 2025, he closed the year out with the Dennis Baranchek fight and became champion. That was a great storyline, right? But none of those fighters are what Jermaine Ortiz is bringing to the ring. I think this is the fight that's going to make a difference.
I think he brings, like, he got some offense. He got really good feet too. Like, it's just about not overusing them. If that's the thing, right? Like, where you just too fleet of foot, where you're not engaging. You don't want that, because he was accused of running against T.O. Not from the Lopez camp, but some of the commentators and different analysts, they accused him of running. That's what he want to avoid, that pit bull where you're doing excessive movement and not enough engagement. You want to mix it up. Well, I know he's capable, but let's see what Jermaine Ortiz, because you got to be motivated, bro. Like, think about what a win could do for him.
Especially on
you know what I'm saying right now.
Card.
Right? You beat Keyshawn, you scarred his record first officially. Man, you in the game for real, man. I think opportunities are really open up for him after that. So you gotta be motivated. So I just hope we can see that, because I'm a true supporter of these dudes. The more he pushed, the better we gonna see from Keyshawn. The more answers we're gonna get. I want to see how good he is. I hear some real crazy stories that was like real positive, like, and I know it'd be gym stories, but it's a consistency to these stories that make you really want to see it under the lights. These people can't be lying to me. Like, they can't be lying about it. They like, bro, the dude is special. And you got bigger guys, like the best sparring that work there ever got from Keyshawn, and they talk about his IQ and his poise and his patience, and we've seen it, but I just want to keep seeing it, and I want to see the best Jermaine Ortiz, so I can see just how good Keyshawn Davis is. I
You know
can't
what?
wait to see this fight.
I'm glad you said that too, because if for some reason Jermaine Ortiz does win, this sets up another potential fight that he's been asking for since 135. And your boy, my boy, our own Jersey's own, Shakur Stevenson, who may want to go get that back for his brother, in other words. Because Jermaine's been asking for that fight for years. He's been asking for this fight. So he was actually one of the only guys to say that he wanted to fight Shakur at 35 when nobody was trying to fight Shakur. But he ended up outgrowing the division in that last fight he had prior to Loma. But it is what it is, bro. Like, this is hands down, this is what it is. And I think, like you said, Keyshawn has shown growth in the game. He is, to me, obviously the trash talk is a trash talk. And if you let somebody get to you from trash talking, you already lost. And Keyshawn is a trash talker, and he gets to people. So with that being said, that's line one. If you can get past line one, then we go to line two. That's getting in the ring and taking a punch from Keyshawn. If you can take his punch, same thing. He can take your punch, and we got to fight. If one of you guys move backwards and the other person sees it, it's probably going to go the way that we see it, and as you guys feel it. So it's a good fight, great on paper. We have to wait and see how it looks in the ring. Obviously, I think we're all on the same page of that. And ultimately, what do you think about, Clay? I hope you don't mind. What do you think about the potential Hitchens and Frank Martin fight?
Oh, well, just to add to that, that's something that L Dub threw out there. And he like a little damn Nostradamus, so you just be throwing shit out there, and not just throwing shit out there. He'll throw suggestions out there, and then things will come to fruition. But he did say this would be the perfect time, and it would be, girl. Like, look, people need fights. Hitchens did say that with some miscommunication, did sign for Jermaine, so it kind of fell out. But he said no worries. Said he will be announcing another opponent soon, a better one. So he will be defending his title, and I'm like, a better one. And remember what EJ said. Remember, he was like, we're gonna see what's up with Hitchens. Like, so it make you think. Now that fell out, I mean, they throw that out there. Should be an option. Was better than Jermaine Ortiz. I think a Frank Martin fight would be on par with that statement if it's true, So we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting situation. I don't know what Hitchens is so hit or miss with him, and I don't know, man. This fight right here is going to be. This is a very athletic. Obviously, he just came back with a bang with that Rances Barthélemy fight. Frank is in his bag. He's feeling himself right now. It seems like, is he with Buddy? He's with Buddy, right? With Buddy Hurt, right? Yeah. So it seems like they're gelling. Yeah, man, this fight is, in my opinion, potentially a more dangerous fight to a certain degree. I mean, Keyshawn is a dangerous fight, but at least Keyshawn was coming up in weight. Keyshawn was on the hiatus. Keyshawn has the new trainers. He had all these. He's only 13 fights into his professional career. You guys have been in the ring with each other sparring. It seems like that fight would have been a little bit more easier for Hitchens to approach. This one, Frank Martin, I mean, the ghost is, I mean, people could take that Tank Davis performance and make that the end all be all. But I think we know the truth, right? And we know the truth behind it.
How good did he do in that fight, Clay? He did very well to that gas, start running off that quarter tank. Literally, he did phenomenal. I went back and watched it more recently. That's why I'm saying it the way I'm saying it. Like, while he was fresh, but I noticed Tank started slipping like single body shots. And it was a sequence where he kind of pivoted, but he didn't get away. And I knew he was in some trouble. I was like, Tank done caught up to him. Tank, at that moment, I find little sequences, and I know from that point on, it's about to be difficult because he was able to maneuver, use a little cute, because he got cute footwork, right? Frank could get away from you, you get what I'm saying? Pivot, get out of there. But he did it and he tried to get away, and Tank still got to the body. And I was like, I knew that was going to start to be the beginning of the end. But
Especially making
until that point,
that hydration.
Yeah,
he was cooked.
Too. He was weak.
Yeah, cotton mouth and he don't even smoke. Think about it. Yeah, cotton mouth. Frank don't smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a timing fight. That was that was a bad timing. I think it was a time where he was ready to transition. His body was growing. He was ready to move on, and obviously the nerves were on 10 going into a fight that big against a puncher like Gervonta Tank Davis. And he probably looks back at that fight 100 times and knows that he would never fight that way. He probably feels like he could have done a way better job than what he did. And I'd co-sign him on that. I'm like, yeah, bro, I think he probably could have done way better than what he did. So can't cry over spilled milk, but if that has future fighters thinking like they have the code or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he didn't expose him. I don't think that's
Tank a special breed, respectfully. That experience, you could tell he fought in a way where he knew, and that's he fought in high guard, just walking to him. I was like, Tank knows what's up. Come on, the whole can you drink water? Way back at the presser. Come on, bro. That's he knew. Can you drink?
A lot of stuff that where Tank understood, like my experience and my understanding of how this works. I'm looking at you and telling you, you shouldn't be fighting. But I'm going to work out anyway, right? Like you messed up. F the fight. Everything outside of this fight is looking bad for you. So you can't come in the ring with me half-assed, bro. You about to pay ultimate price. But hey, you about to get some money, and you're gonna be okay afterwards, though. But I'm gonna put these hands on you for the love of the sport that I'm in, and for the, get this crowd going. Don't take it personal, respectfully, right? But so look, that's that situation. But there's other fights on this card as well that's very interesting. Obviously, we know Bruce Carrington is more likely. I got Bruce getting this guy out of here. I'm not gonna lie to you. Carlos Castro, I think Bruce is gonna do him dirty. I ain't gonna lie to you. But then you also got Carlos Adames, who's gonna be defending his title on there against Ammo Williams, is gonna be on this card.
Yeah, I seen that.
Right? That's a great fight as well. Obviously, Big Baby Miller is also going to be on the card, man. This card is looking like it's going to be a great card, bro.
And nobody.
What y'all think about? Did y'all talk about Ammo and Adames, or how tough of a fight y'all think Ammo got coming? That's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm at with that one yet.
Iron sharpens iron is what I'm going to say to that fight.
It's funny. I don't like the triangle theory much, but they got a common opponent. But outside of that, Thomas is an interesting guy.
Yeah, I think Thomas
is gonna have to be. His mental got to be all the way there, like, because he deal with some, like mental health situation, like issues. Like he go through things, and I believe he had a fight where he shouldn't have been in it. So I just hope he's all there respectfully. I like Ammo a lot. I like his heart, his spirit, bro. He got a warrior. He gonna fight. You gonna have to kick his ass, But Adames with the experience, man, and just being a really composed fighter, man. Ammo gonna have to put it together on the night. He got tools, but it's like focus and concentration for me. Like I've seen that kind of wander, and I see the results. Like he get touched up. Like if you see, what was it? His last fight, I believe. Didn't he get a stoppage?
No, I don't think so. I think he got a decision. Did he stop?
Was it a decision? I'm not sure. Man. Don't he stop? But
yes.
That fight was a little tough. You know what I'm saying? Like, that guy was hitting him, and the Adames is going to be able to hit him. You get me? So.
Oh yeah. For real. That's what I said. Iron sharpens iron. You gotta.
Ivan Vasquez, he did stop him.
Yeah, you got a great fighter with Ammo
later, right? Yeah.
That he's a strong. He's a good boxer. Actually, let's elevate him a little bit. I don't want to say he's good. He's good at what he does in boxing. Yes, he has his issues, but because he puts him, we and Clay talk about this all the time. Some boxers get into fights, and he's one of those guys that likes to get into fights. And it kind of, you can see it. Adames is not going to get into a fight with him. He's going to take the fight to him, but he's not going to get into a fight with him. So I do see Adames walking out here with a victory, but I do see the challenge coming from Emma Williams. And like I give any other fight, Clay knows what I'm gonna say. Every fighter got a shot. Every fighter got a shot. It only takes one, man. But it's gonna be interesting. If he's a little bigger than Adames, he's probably a little bit more got a little bit more, in my opinion, just an opinion. I think he has probably a little better punch resistance, to say the least. But we'll see. And I'm saying like Adames, I've never seen Adames get hooked or hurt by anybody, so I can't say what resistance he has. But I've seen Williams get clipped a few times, and he fights, bro. He's a fighter, so that puts a whole perspective on things. That's all.
Yeah, big fights. So
what I wanted to say was congratulations, Just Do, because and it's for me and you. They said he wouldn't headline a fight. They said he would never have a card, and our boy Shakur Stevenson is headlining his own pay-per-view or whatever you want to call it. They can say what they want now, and this is going to be a big seller, and it's happening in the tri-state area. And it's crazy because Madison Square Garden is closer to Newark than it is what part of Brooklyn that T.O. is claiming to be from. So look at
crazy,
Clay.
Right?
I don't know, Clay.
Clay, man, they dragged him. He called him an undercard fighter.
I know he's not from Brooklyn. They call it Brooklyn.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, it's Brooklyn, Miami, but we'll call it whatever.
It is. I mean, that fight right there is a fight that I think people are gonna. I know Shakur's excited, you know, as far as getting an opportunity to get somebody like this in the ring with him to really show the separation, you know, to really show like guys don't understand what I've been saying all these years. And I think it's unfortunate to a certain degree, but at the same time, maybe it's worked out in his favor as far as the hand injury and his campaign at 135 just has been tainted with this hand injury and the inability to also make the big fights, you know. It seems like he feels great about his hands right now. You would know more than I would, Just Do, but it seems like the hands are, it looks like that surgery is a success.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, tore some type of ligament in the hand. And I had even seen him when he was all casted up. You know, my man was slipping me little updates and stuff, and he's been on record. Some of that stuff was self-inflicted. He done that to himself, right? Like not wrapping his hands early in his career and using them without wrapping, kind of damaging. But it'd be like a little misconfusion or a misconception of if he breaking his hand. So it's not breaks from what I understand. He's torn ligaments, so got some hand issues for sure. But for example, like I'll give you one. For the last hand was a Tater. People don't know he tweaked his hands twice in camp, and I know that personally was one man watching him. But he said he noticed both times he done it, neither time did it stop the sparring or the work. What he did do, he just noticed that he made somewhat of an adjustment the next time out to try to avoid doing the same shit. So it's all about management for him, and that's what it's just something he's gonna have to deal with. And for me, look, you know, that's my guy, but I ain't giving him no hand excuse. Like he different, bro. I hear the stories. I mean, them shits I could go on and on. He's just somebody that you gonna have to be good enough to fight through it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now, as long as it's not causing you to miss fights, I'm cool. Like it's not, they're not going to West, right? And I just think it's all about management, right? Managing those issues, and that's why he's very aware, like the rest in between fights, right? And not trying to press like some of these guys. I mean, 3 fights a year. He's like, yo, I'm cool with 2 because of the hands, and like my hands are rest. So it's just about him getting on top of that too. I also hear something he got some type of gloves that's really hard to get. I hear, what is they, wind gloves? I gotta double check with my man, but you had to order them and you gotta wait. So he got some type of gloves that, you know, he's been trying to work with, I think, to help his hands as well. So hopefully he just, you know, stay on top of it.
Yeah, with that being said too, Clay and I have discussed this multiple times. Do you think he came back too soon off the surgery? Not giving himself enough time, like, because we heard he was back in the gym sparring when he shouldn't have been. Well, really not should have been sparring or punching bags or whatever the case may be. I don't know which one it was. Let me be clear. I want to say he was sparring. But we heard he was back in the gym earlier than expected. And then he took on a fight where he ended up injuring his hand again.
Talking about Josh when you fought Josh, right?
Yeah. So is it just to say like maybe it's possible that he just came back a little too early and not gave it that extra time to heal up?
That's always a possibility, and that's one of the things that I think he's fought with. If I could be fair enough to say that, like throughout his career, pulling himself back. Like some of the wildest stories I've heard is when he wasn't supposed to be in the gym, when he's supposed to be off. So that's a fair question. It's a good possibility that that's it. But again, it's all about management with him, right? And giving yourself the proper time and really going through the steps and all the stuff that he learned. And like you say, got some more insight on how to deal with the hand injuries. And I feel like he seemed like he a lot more confident in what's going on, like as far as him dealing with it. So that's good. That's always good.
Yeah, and I mean that's another part of the conversation with him, right? Is the fact that the maturity of Shakur, the process, the journey of Shakur, he's matured so much from right. I mean, he's become so much more mentally just iron. Like he really, you can tell when even with the little face off thing with Teofimo and just how he was, it's just like, he's passed the test. He's checked the boxes for himself. And obviously that's going to be a part of the conversation as well. As far as Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson is that mental aspect. I like what you said earlier about the habits he has in the gym, how he deals with the injuries. He has a grit about him. Shakur fights through the pain. He fights. He doesn't let those excuses be excuses for him not to win. When he fought against Edwin De Los Santos, he went into that fight with issues, and he didn't even allow that to, I mean, he's like that doesn't make a difference. He found a way to win anyway. And I know a lot of people have a hard time processing that performance, and they don't metabolize it in a way to where they can really find anything positive on the other side of that performance. But I think if you want to, and you be honest to a certain degree, and if you got to say to yourself this, I say this, if you don't believe it, that's okay. But what I would say to you is, if it is true, now look at the performance. If it is true, right? So I believe it, right? I know you, and I think more than I believe it, but I don't know because I wasn't there, but But regardless, for the people who don't, it's like, okay, well, close that out for a second and entertain the idea for a second. Let's just say it's true, right? And if it is true, then look at somebody who wasn't going to allow his opportunity to be taken from him, who took the fight anyway and walked away from that fight with the WBC lightweight title around his waist, right? No matter how anybody wants to break it down. And then you compound that and add to it what you said about the reputation he has that he's built for himself inside the ring for dealing with injuries, but still not letting that dissuade him. So that takes some mental toughness. No, Just Do?
Yo, talk about it, bro. Speaking of that De Los Santos fight, like I had got a call and I was being told how he got sick, like within the last couple of weeks it came. And he's throwing up in between sparring rounds. They're trying to end it. He's telling them, hell no, I got to get this money. We ain't stopping. Like he pushed through being sick. Fuck it. There ain't a couple injuries on top of that. And I always tell people, I know it's maybe people don't pay attention as closely as I do. You will probably never see him weigh in as light as he did against De Los Santos at 35. It was like 133 and change. And I'm like, his ass wasn't eating. He was sick, throwing up. And I'm like, damn, I know this. And it's so real. Like I told y'all, it was a point where he was sitting down in the back eating. He was eating a sandwich. Like you think usually you'd be up on your toes warming up. And he was about to go in the ring on an empty stomach. And good for him that he got real ones like Ward and Bud there to coach him through that, to tell him that wouldn't have been a good idea to, like, you know what I mean, put something in your stomach before you go out there and fight this dude, like throwing up and not stopping his sparring. Like, I mean, you never seen him cut in an actual fight, but I got another story. He got cut in the sparring, from a guy being wild, threw an elbow, cut him. They try to stop the sparring then. Same that energy. Hell no. Nah. And hell no, he ain't stopping. Patched him up, goes back out there, put hands, feet, fingers, and toes on this guy. Made him go outside the ring. Dude didn't even take the wraps off his hands. Collected his belongings, exited the gym without saying nothing. Got the hands put on him. So that man, like I'm hearing it not like second, third hand. I'm hearing it from somebody that's watching it. You get what I'm saying? And it was a person that wasn't a detractor, but wasn't sold. He was like, this dude, not what they saying. Like, he got the smile, he got the look, he's talented.
Right.
He said that shit all changed with being able to watch him. He said, like, you almost think he's the biggest advocate of him, but he's just telling you in all honesty what he's seen. And he tell me on a regular basis, like, that dude is not normal. He be in all the gyms in Houston, so he frequenting all these gyms, and he's seeing a multitude of these different guys work, from the big guys, from the Charlos to the Morels, and the smaller guys, the Shockies, the Regises, like all of these guys that's in these gyms. And he, like, by far the most different shit he's seen has come from Shakur. And I think the time that changed him was when he sparred Marquise. Marquise operating at like 54 or 60. This dude arguably 160 plus pounds. Of course, for him on a day he ain't belong in the gym. And my guy, like, bro, he seen this shit. He knew for sure. He like, Shakur is about to get beat up, man. He seen this dude spar a bunch of guys, wear him out, drain him, aggravate him, beat up on him. So he knew for sure this little dude getting in the ring with him was about to be bad. He said a few rounds into that shit, he just couldn't believe what he was seeing. Like, how the fuck ain't he getting beat up by this big ass dude, and he's choosing to fight him to the point where dude's still in his moves in the ring. Like, shit, tell me, I could go on and on about these stories, but the good thing about it is just somebody that's right there watching this shit, that wasn't a believer, that, he just reassures what I already been told, and feel like I know since day one. He validated with them stories. So a fight like with T.O., if T.O. beats him, T.O. is just going to be better than him. That y'all can assure. When it comes to crossing T's and dotting I's, no corners cut for that man. He's going to do everything in his power to win this fight. So I love to see the challenge, man. So like I said, T.O. win. It's going to be because he's better. Nothing else. Not because he ain't trained hard or he overlooked them. It's not something that he ain't cut that way.
Yeah, I agree. I said that too. I welcome T.O. because T.O. wins, like you said, he's gonna show something that we would never have seen if he wasn't in the ring with a Shakur Stevenson. And as from a boxing fan's point of view, listen, that's what we're here to see. Shout out to Shakur, wishing him the best, and wishing even Teofimo, even though, I think the community has a certain relationship with Teofimo, but at the end of the day, boxing is boxing. He's a high level skilled boxer, man. So yeah, put on the best performance you can put on. Let's see it happen. Mm-hmm. Shout out to everybody who's in the building, by the way. Please remember to hit the like button. I haven't asked you guys to do that, but I shouldn't. You guys should just know to do that. But if you haven't done it, hit the like button. Obviously subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. I do want to dial in and speak a little bit about this event that's going on tomorrow morning in Riyadh season, The Last Samurai. I don't know how much you've looked into this, into these fighters at all, but this fight between Monster Inoue and David Picasso, Monster Inoue has earned himself a reputation. He's like, number 2 or what is he, number 2 on the pound for pound list right now? Number 3 behind maybe
number 2.
Right.
Yeah, I think he's 2 and they got banned at like 3, I believe.
Right, and being that Terrence isn't there anymore, he's officially retired, so he's no longer on the list. Mm-hmm. He's definitely high up there, and he should be up there. He's done so many things and accomplished so much in his career, but here he goes with a Mexican 24, 25-year-old David Picasso. I don't know if people know about David Picasso all the way. I think people are in the dark a little bit about him, like maybe he came out in the left field. Mm-hmm. This dude's a real educated guy. Like, this guy's supposedly like a couple of like credits away from being a doctor. Like, he's going to be a doctor, and he's like super intelligent. You know what I mean? Like, he has aspirations of like getting a Nobel Peace Prize for medicine and all type. You know what I mean? Like, this dude is on that cerebral level, but inside of the ring, taller guy, got the reach, works behind that jab, likes to put his opponents on the back foot. Monster Inoue being the fighter we know he is, but we haven't seen him in the ring with somebody in a long time. I think the last fight he had was against a guy named Jamie McDonnell or something like that, like years ago, like 6 years ago. Fought this guy who's like 5'9", and he didn't even have the arm reach that David Picasso has. And this was when I think Junto was at like 118 fighting at not Junto, excuse me, Monster Inoue was fighting at 118. So this is 122. This is a new division, and David Picasso is undefeated, young, Mexican, got everything to gain, nothing to lose. Likes to stay behind that jab. And Monster Inoue is going to have to slip that and figure out how to close that void, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Have you looked at the fight, and where do you see this fight going?
Yeah, for me, man, it's going to be business as usual. And not to dismiss Picasso at all. I seen, I watched some, and I wouldn't lie. I think I got to do more homework to be 100% fair as I like to be. But from what I've seen already, a little rugged. Looks like he got some pop. But my issue with guys that's like in the caliber of Inoue, Monster, you got to have something really special about you. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but just at this point, the way that guy looks, you have to have something that's really special about you. You get me? And if you don't, you can't beat him. He to the point where it's crazy. You can't even be a really good fighter and just beat him. Like, that's not enough. You have to be exceptional. Like, you really have to be able to do something far different than what he's seen. And I feel like pretty much he's seen it all damn near, right? Like, you're not going to present something that he's not accustomed to. The only thing that beats him at this point, like right now, is him, right? That's how it's him versus him. Like, he go out there for whatever reason, he overlooked this guy, and maybe he can get caught slipping. But in terms of like from performance to performance, he's so damn consistent. You get what I'm saying? At beating guys, and he showed you even without a knockout, he can still beat you up. And he could take a punch. He could get put down. He could rise back up. He could get buzzed. MJ caught him. People probably didn't recognize it, but he got buzzed in that fight. Like that's not enough. Like what Picasso has is very good. It's solid. It can't take nothing from it. Done very well for himself. But the buck stops the Monster, bro. I think you just have to have something really special about you, and you need to. He just don't have it. You need just a set of tools for that Monster, man. I think the only way he wins if he catches slipping.
Ray, are you calling for Monster Inoue to win this fight? Have you made up your mind? I know you're very.
Yeah, I know I've been on the side of building Picasso as a great opponent. Yeah, I have Inoue winning this fight. I think it's going to be tough and a strong potential upset. Strong potential. And the only reason being is because of the elements that are presented in this fight by Picasso.
Yeah, the physical. You think it's a physical?
Right. He's going to bring the fight to him. He's going to be strong. And he has a puncher's bro. He's got a KO history, bro. So he's not a slouch. And he's a number 2 fighter in that division. Like, he's really that good. He's really that guy. A lot of people are going to look past it because they don't know who he is. They're going to look past it because, he's young. This guy's claiming to take the throne from Canelo, bro. He's talking about the torch of Mexico being put on his shoulders. So speak with talks like that. That says a lot, especially him. And he's tall, bro. I mean, he's like, what is like 5'8", 5?
He's like 5'8", and it does seem like the country's behind him.
Yeah,
it does seem like they're very. A lot of people are very optimistic about his chances of winning this fight. I also think that just to add to what you're saying, and I think this is what the thing more than anything makes it so weird for you to kind of be like, we can't count this dude out, is that he has poise and he has some discipline about him. And although he gets baited into firefights from time to time, for the most part, he works very well behind that jab. He has decent timing. Monster Inoue has been known to take chances. You know,
Correct.
he pushes the fight. He doesn't want the fight to go the distance. He pushes in. I think there's opportunities in there for David Picasso to capitalize and do something significant. And the question, I think, is when, not if, when David Picasso connects with that shot, how does Monster Inoue take the shot?
Exactly.
If he can hurt Monster Inoue, this fight can go the other way, I think, real quick. This is about Monster Inoue dealing with what David Picasso brings. He attacks the body very frequently. He's a big body puncher, David Picasso is. I mean, he hooks right, left to the body. He stabs to the body. He uses his leading hand to hit the body. I mean, he hits the body enough to where his feints are you can count on the feints. You bite on the feints with him because he makes you, like we talked about earlier, he's going to hit him with something significant, and he's going to start using all those all that respect he's gained in those rounds to put together some offensive, like he's going to rain on Inoue at times, and Inoue is going to have to be in that high guard, move, use his angles. He's going to have to attack the body himself. That's what I expect Monster Inoue to do as well, is attack that body, get up, slip, keep his head off the line, slip underneath those underneath that lead hand and find his way inside. But make no confusion about it. David Picasso is going to be trying to push Naoya Inoue on his back foot. He's going to stab him. He uses that lead hand to stab the body, to, you know what I mean, heavy, stiff jabs. He wants you to go in a certain direction. And if Monster Inoue is stubborn, it can go bad, I think.
See Nakatani Loma.
Say it again.
Nakatani versus Loma. I see
the fight.
See this fight playing out like that. Very, very disciplined. Aoyo, I can't say his name because my voice is messed up. Anyway, being the Loma of this fight, using the angles, like you said, being the matrix in this fight, using his speed to get around the threats that Picasso will bring, just like Nakatani. He had a lot of frustration he could have brought to Lomachenko. Lomachenko was able to figure him out, and I think that's how this fight goes. I don't know if you realize, like, that was a tall opponent for Loma, so that's why it brings me to a lot of points of making that comparison. And Nakatani was a strong puncher too, as well. So a lot of people sleep on that, but wait and see.
What's the fight is there a fight on here that's not happening now? Somebody got injured, right?
No, I'm sorry, not Shushu. That was I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm in the wrong card. Hold on, let me get to that card.
There's a fight that I saw Turkey Al-Sheikh posted on his social media saying that one of the fighters got injured and he has to get a replacement for him.
Well, Garcia's still on.
Is this the Wimbaldo Garcia Perez? Who was Kenshiro Taraji supposed to be fighting?
He's supposed to be fighting Garcia Perez. That was who was announced.
Okay, so
I think it's not the what's the name brother, right?
No, Ryuto Tsutsumi is
he got pulled off the card.
But that was a while ago. He got
pulled. Is it Kenshiro? Kenshiro, you talking about the dude that's off this card, right?
Yeah.
The morning card, the Inoue card.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Kenshiro something, ain't it?
Kenshiro Taraji? No, don't say that.
Yeah, I think it's him. Yeah, no, I can double check for you right now, but I think it's him.
I'm looking at the
update. I think it is the Taraji kid.
That is a big fight, man.
Yeah. I could have seen my guy L. Shout out to L, though. I think he's the one that told me that. Yeah, and that's the fight because I've seen him fight maybe once or twice, possibly, and I like what I've seen from him.
There's no updates on the related news. Let me look at the news to this. Hold on.
I can double check for him and definitely drop it in the DM for you and let you know for sure.
I'm looking right now.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's the one that was off because he said instead of 4 o'clock, he said the card was starting at 5 because of that fight was off.
Oh, it's not off due to Garcia. No. The fight. And Shiro's still fighting.
Yeah, they're fighting. It's a weight issue. It's a weight issue, but they're still fighting.
No. Well, Baldo Garcia has been pulled out of the fight because he's been hospitalized from an illness, probably from cutting the weight.
Wow.
Gotcha. It looks like Charlie Edwards is being asked to step in. All right, but Kenshiro is in the building. He's trying to make a fight happen, and Turkey's trying to still make the fight happen.
Gotcha.
Make a fight happen for him. So, I mean, more importantly, I wanted to see Kenshiro perform. I think he's a great.
I just sent a little text out to see what my guy just to confirm what he said. Sure.
He wants his ice cream, bro.
Salute round one. What's good, King?
I see that. Homie in the building.
Yeah. Round one probably knows the story behind that because he follows that weight class pretty, he follows it heavy.
I should check let me check my IG because if anything, Angelo probably sent me something too.
Big fight that's supposed to be lined up in May between Junto Nakatani.
I don't know how that happened. Don't worry about it. I was older.
What the fuck is that? Me? Am I listening?
Yeah.
To
Yeah. That was you.
Is that what I sound like? Is that me?
Yeah.
I'm looking at my girl's sound waves. I'm like, I hear my voice.
That sound like you.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Are you gonna be up, Just? Are you covering the fight? Are you doing a live on it? Or
thinking about it? I was thinking about it because I ended my live kind of early, so I could try to give myself some time.
Rest, yeah.
5 in the morning, I might do it. Because I've been calling Inoue fights. Like, I got a few of his fight cards on my channel calling, and people really be up. That's the crazy part.
Listen, man,
really be up.
That's high level boxing, man. I tell anybody, it's early in the morning. I get it. It's Saturday morning, but I'm gonna tell you straight up, I've not called one of those fights and it not be worth it. That's what gets me up. I will be up 3:45 tomorrow morning, calling these fights because if you really into the sweet science, you're not going to be let down. Now, people you could watch replay, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could always do that. But obviously I like calling the fights. I don't know if you ever seen me call the fights, but I like to call the fight. So, but those cards, they haven't let me down yet. They always deliver, man. High level boxing, bro. Movement, punch selection, you know what I'm saying? Combination punching, stoppages, heart. These guys fight it and they put it all on the line. Never a boring fight. I haven't seen it. Definitely worth it. I'll be up and at it, covering it. That's a fact. I'll be up and at it.
That's the fight that was off, and that was for the last belt that Dan needs to be undisputed at 115. Right. That's the crazy part. So, Eddie Hearn did speak in one of the recent interviews. He said if we can't get that last belt undisputed, then we'll move up. But I like the way he said, because it's crazy. Somebody said they think they're gonna rush Dan to try to make the Inoue fight, but Eddie Hearn was very clear about not wanting to rush him and wanting to take his time going through the weight classes and moving accordingly. And I was like, yeah, that's smart because he's young. Hell with all that rushing. That fight would be a great fight, but one interesting dynamic. They both are, to a degree, have mentioned something about featherweight capping off there. Inoue said it, and somebody said it on Bam's side too. So maybe they'll catch each other there. But in the meantime, you continue to nurture that greatness because that young kid is amazing. And I get tired of the slight that he get. He ain't fighting nobody. You need to move up. Your weight bully this. I'm like, bro, just shut up and enjoy greatness, man. That's what's wrong with y'all. You trying to overanalyze. Like, everybody think they Stephen A. Like, bro, shut up and look at greatness, bro. Shut up. That boy studied Lomachenko. He actually applied in the ring. How many people do you hear say they study somebody, but you don't see no evidence of that shit in the ring? Or you really, really got to study with him? you see it immediately with the angles.
Right,
You
right.
study London, like, and then you hear him say it, like, man. So, man, that dude is great, man. Robert Garcia got him one.
Yep, I agree.
That was something
Yeah.
different, man.
Ray was like, Ray's high on him. I'm high on him. I think we're all high on him. You just got to be a hater not to be high on him, man. I'm sorry.
I just think that. My
I
bad.
want a funny story. One day I made a video about Monster Anyway. This has never happened to me in my YouTube history. I made a video about Monster Anyway, and I was, like trying to be fair and get my assessment. How I felt like at times he could be defensively irresponsible. I highlighted where he got the orbital bone broke and shit like that. Bro, and how you check analytics, and you go look at the subscribers, and then should be like plus this, plus that, whatever. Might say 0. Bro, I lost 100 subscribers.
Wow.
I think I pissed people off, bro. I ain't never lose subscribers like that in my life.
I know you.
I was like, they could
gotta be a glitch.
I was looking and laughed because it was at the time where I had put up this short post, and I said it did like 3.8 million or something like these little short posts. So it was like I was getting so many, but I still noticed it. Like I was like, bro, what? They was not feeling it. They was pissed off about that assessment. I'm like, damn, act like I said he couldn't fight. Said the man, he get hit. In other words, man, they wasn't feeling it. This just do think unsubscribe.
He gets hit, man, and that's the whole thing. That we were talking about the other day. Like that's what we're talking about. When me and Ray were talking about this, saying, and we were talking about this specifically towards the potential of a Bam Rodriguez fight, and just saying how that would look against a fighter like Bam, because Bam is just he's sound. He's correct form, correct position. You know what I'm saying? Defensively responsible, great counterpuncher. He delivers on so many different cylinders, right? He's just moving in so many different ways. It's going to be interesting, to say the least, to watch that fight come together and see it, because Monster. Let me tell you something. These fighters become I think the volume is up on your thing, round one. Like I can hear myself.
Yeah, we sound like the remix.
Let me just make sure. Yeah, it's definitely you. I hit mute. Yeah, and
Much better.
Not mic check. No, I can still hear myself.
Still got you.
I can't hear you.
You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. But interesting. It's going to be to see that fight, because and I compare it to the Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. I know like Inoue is way more higher level pedigree than Errol, in my opinion. But still, man, when you get in that ring with that dude, I still hear myself round one. I don't know if you're figuring it out.
You hear yourself? Oh, wait. I got you 2 screens.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah, you're both. How do I get this one off?
Just mute it. Just mute the screen.
Yeah.
I'll close the tab.
How the hell did that happen?
Mic check. You just gotta close one of them out. You talking about on the StreamYard? You see it's on 2 screens?
On 2 screens.
So look, you have a tab. Look at the tabs. You have a tab probably open that you have 2 tabs open.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens.
Okay,
you gotta look at your tabs on there.
I'm gonna hop out.
All right. Yeah, but to see Bam in there with him is gonna be interesting, because I'm telling you, these fighters. I don't know how you feel about this, Just Do, but and Ray, but they build habits. Shout out to Roy Jones Jr., my favorite fighter of all time. That is my guy. But that guy built some bad habits about himself towards the end of his career. And he was fundamentally getting away with things because of how athletic he was. He was able to do things that other fighters weren't able to do, and he looked good doing it. But when he got in the ring with those fundamentally sounds, the Joe Calzakis and the I'm still hearing myself. Those Calzakis and the Antonio Tarvers and all that, it went left. It didn't work out towards the end,
Once that athleticism went, Clay, there you go. It
And
was
people
like,
pick up on it after a while too, right? They pick up on it. Good fighters pick up on it. When that's another thing with Monster in the way that I say going to this fight. How do you guys feel about the tape? This guy defends his title like 4 times.
He might buy him down.
You know what I'm saying? Like 4 times this year.
Yo.
When you talking, well, hold on, talk round one.
Still an echo or not?
No echo for you, echo for us. So what we're gonna do when you're talking, you'll be on point, but when you're not talking, we just hit the mute.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? And you just hit the mute when you want to come in. That way we can kind of balance it out. But I know you're big on this card. This is a card you've probably been waiting on all year for, right? Like this card couldn't get here soon enough for you, and we're hours away at this point from it. How are you rating David Picasso going into this? Because that's what this is all about, right? Can he challenge? Can you make this a fight? Can he give Monster Inoue the look?
Right.
You know what I mean? What do you think?
First of all, I don't think that Naoya Inoue is a very calculated individual, right? And I think that Alan David Picasso in this situation was no mistake. He's looking and targeting a fight for Junto Nakatani. They had even an interview yesterday where they were talking about the fight with Mike Carpenter. Then all of a sudden I'm hearing reports that it's breaking up and everything. But anyway, the thing is that I think that Naoya Inoue is sizing up Junto Nakatani. He has the same height or rarely same height with his opponent, same slender body, different lefty, I understand, from a righty, but I think he's studying him. But I don't think Junto's doing the same with Naoya Inoue. I don't think his competition is on Naoya Inoue's level. And another thing is that I think Alan David Picasso got a puncher's chance. They say that he's a green fighter. Well, he has over 31 fights. And they have him a 5-star ranking in BoxRec. I know champions that got 4 stars like Isa Pitbull Cruz. So don't tell me that he's green. Give the Mexican his credit. This is his opportunity to shock the world. And although Naoya Inoue is the highly favored and I got him in the fight, Alan David Picasso got his own dreams. And you can never fight against that. And don't ever underestimate an underdog because this Mexican kid can fight. Now, although I think Naoya Inoue is going to pack him up within 6 rounds, yes, he's just a little outmatched here. I'm not talking about levels when I talk about Naoya Inoue or styles, I should say, because he doesn't have a style. Naoya Inoue adapts to all fighting styles. He fought Stephen Kubo Fulton in the Philly Shell and taught him how to fight it the correct way. Naoya Inoue is a special fighter, and there was another part in your conversation that I think a lot of fight fans that I think we need to start to separate into 3 entities. The pound-for-pound fighter, the best fighter, and the face of boxing are 3 separate entities. I think that the general boxing public thinks that the face of boxing has to be the best boxer in the world, and that can't be further from the truth. The face of boxing is the boxer that is more recognizable worldwide, where we put your face on the billboard and they know who you are. That's the face of boxing. He's not pound for pound, and he's not the best boxer like Jake Paul. Like the Tanks and the Ryan Garcias of the world, okay? But the pound for pound fighter in the world is the most complete fighter, all around, all aspects. It has nothing to do with belts, only your opponents and how you fare through your divisions. That's Naoya Inoue. The best fighter in the world is Terrence Crawford. Naoya Inoue never jumped up 2 weight divisions to fight not 1 belt champion, but a 4 belt champion, an undisputed champion, the most powerful champion you can get. That's the greatest feat in boxing. He is the best fighter. All around, Naoya Inoue is pound for pound, and the face of boxing is the Canelo Alvarez, the Tank Davises, the Jake Pauls, because Naoya Inoue is not the face of boxing. Although he did $42 million last year for a bantamweight champion that no bantamweight in the history has ever done, and every fighter south or north of the equator are looking for the Naoya Inoue sweepstakes. Now, one guy at 126 wants to fight or unify their belt because they don't want to give up the opportunity at the big fight with Naoya. And then you got guys chasing from the down there like Bam Rodriguez trying to get name off Naoya Inoue. Bam Rodriguez is an excellent Mexican fighter, and I hold him in high regards. But when we talk about elite fighters and great fighters, there's a difference. A good fighter will have you figured out in 6 to 8 rounds. A great fighter, 4 to 5. An elite fighter, in the moment. Like Floyd. You fuck up in front of him too many times, he's going to put your lights out. That's Naoya Inoue. And I'm just telling, I love this fight right here. And as far as Naoya Inoue getting dropped, I think we're in boxing, gentlemen. I think there's not a champion that ever was skated by a Superman with a cape that ever skated through a career without getting dropped or having a blemish. I think if that's what you're holding him on, you're nitpicking. It's like giving Luis Pantera Nari a moral victory for dropping him. But Naoya Inoue put him on a highlight reel. So it's like, look, skills pay the bills in this sport. And to the guys that do it the best, it's not about him. You know, for me, it's not about him being Puerto Rican, white, black, or nothing. It's about, can you fight? How do you dance? Who's doing it the best? And that's how I view boxing. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Clay, for having me on. I had an amazing live stream myself earlier. I just hopped off. I'm going to get a little bit of sleep, get something to eat for this fight. I'm promoting this fight. I believe that we should promote some of the best, because some of the best to do it are not the face of boxing. They're not. And I just feel that just like Jordan, I never went to one of his games, and after he retired, I regretted it. So if you ever have the opportunity to go out to see your favorite fighter, whoever it is, I recommend you go do that. My name is Edwin. I'm from Round One Sports Talk. Thank you for having me on, gentlemen. You guys have an amazing night.
Deuces. Salute, Edwin. Yeah, man. Oh, is that okay? I'm about to say, just do that on the camera. I never seen him on the camera in a while.
I'll be back to hi.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, man. What round one, what Edwin said was, it has weight to it. You know what I'm saying? I think styles make fights. Listen, man. As far as that Bam Rodriguez conversation goes, bro, we just got to see that fight happen, bro. I'm just sorry. It's just one of those situations that doesn't, you can have your favorite going in. Edwin has his reasons for supporting Monster Inoue. He's seen a lot from him, and I can't even fault him. You know what I mean? When you've seen a guy do as much as Monster Inoue's done, it's just too much data to say. There's certain fighters that are special, like Shakur, I think is special. Terrence Crawford. Certain fighters, you gotta beat them to show me you can beat them. It's going to be very hard for me to sit there and give you a win over him without beating him. That's one of the biggest things that ever happened with Tank and Shakur, right? It was like, bro, I'm not doing this with y'all. You feel me? Well, you know who's going to win. No, I don't. And to be honest,
you don't know. Neither do you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I can't do this.
You got to tell people, you know what I mean? Neither do you. You got to tell people you don't know. You think you know, you don't know.
Right. It's like, yo, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, now you capping. You want to, what you want me to say, bro?
Right. They want you to take a side. Yeah, well, I'm on this side. He's going to win easy. Because that's what people say. You ain't saying that, boy. They think you hate him. You say, I dare you to say you're in a competitive fight with him. Boy.
And then they get their bubbles popped. I mean, honestly, I'm always going to reference the Terrence Crawford Errol Spence fight. I'm always going to reference it because that was a fight that almost didn't happen, and the space was there were people who actually were like mad at Errol for making the fight because he didn't get the lion's share of the money, right? And they felt like he didn't need to fight Terrence because they were like, "Bro, you already are that guy." No, he's not the guy. So he beats the guy. That's it.
Right.
And thank God Errol had some integrity about him, and he knew he was going to sleep well at night, not getting that question answered. Like Teddy Atlas said, not opening that door, you know what I'm saying, and seeing what was in that room. And what we saw that night was a lot of
dark in there, but
yeah, and a lot of people today feelings are really hurt about the results of that fight because people were so convinced about how that fight was going to go. It didn't go that way, and people to this day hate Terrence for it. You don't know how these fights go. Monster Inoue and Bam Rodriguez is number what? Is he number 4 on the pound for pound list right now?
Monsters
Okay.
2.
Nah, he like 2, bro. He like
Bam?
number 2.
No,
Bam is
Bam.
Yeah,
3.
they
Bam
moved.
is 3.
Yeah, oh no, Bam is 3. Bam is 3. Pardon me,
Yeah.
Bam is 3.
Come on, bro.
Bam is 3.
You feel me?
You
So
got
it's like,
Uzi, Inoue, and Bam. Yeah.
because I know ever since Terrence moved around that they changed it up a little bit. So I haven't really looked at it yet, but I know I saw. I gotta look. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I know I can pull it up.
They got Debo Dev at 9. I remember Shakur was at like 7 or something like that.
Yeah, they got Jesse at number 3, bro. Don't tell me the number 3 pound for pound fighter and the number 2 pound for pound fighter don't need to fight each other to find out who's better. You crazy? You know what I'm saying? I'm not hearing that, bro.
When I see that as a fan, bro, I'm just happy for the smaller guy. Like, if you're a super fan, you know who my guy is. He has 7. Like, I just be wanting to point that out. You notice when I talked about it briefly on the show. Like, I ain't had no problem with it. Nah, why is he over this? Of course, to be high. Nah, he up there. That mean they recognize him. He cool. He would have win. Maybe he could move higher. Maybe he move a spot higher. Who knows? But at least they recognize him. That's good enough for me. Bam is man. That little guy can go, bro. He can go.
So we were talking about this the other day, and I put the game plan in effect of how they should meet. You know, I was saying that I think if Nakatani and Nakatani and Inoue get past their fights, and there's another Nakatani 2 player. Sorry, I did say that earlier. That Loma fought. There was another one, but
Miyoshi.
Yeah. But I just want to say, if they get past their fights, they fight in May or wherever that is, somewhere in the summer, we could see Bam moving up. Maybe after this fight, if he gets a fight. I know he wants to dispute it, but if he doesn't go that route and he moves up, takes one fight at 118, then go right and get a belt there, making him a 3-weight class, right? 3 division champion. Then we move him into that fight with Inoue. That'll be what everybody wants. Later in the year, we can see another fight like this at the end of the year. Happen with Inoue. He always fights at the end of the year. Makes perfect sense. Bam just fought not too long ago. So they're on par with each other. And I think that's a mega fight waiting to happen, and that's the time it's right. Because what I don't want is Inoue to lead a division, which I think if he beats Nakatani and there's no Bam on the horizon at 122, he's moving up. He's going to 126. So Bam's going to still trying to be catching him. And by the time Bam gets there, Inoue's going to be a shell of himself. He's going to be ready to walk out the door at 34, 35 years old. And we're going to be saying he missed the boat and we never seen it happen. Or he fought the older version of him. So if anything, next year, maybe early next year, 27 is the time. That's it. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. I see it going somewhere like that too, man. I think bottom line is it has to happen sooner rather than later. I think Monsters, to me, he's ready to do something and be done.
Right.
I don't know what it's going to be, whether it's going to be making a big fight at 126 and fighting a Shushu or a Nick Ball. And shout out to Shushu Carrington, man, because I'm so happy for that brother. I'm a big Shushu Carrington fan. I think he's part of the future of boxing. He needed to get this elevation. I know he would have rather have fought Stephen Fulton and got that title. I know he got the heart of a lion, but hey, bro, you get it how you can get it, because when these dudes are moving the way they're moving, you can't make it up. You know what I mean? Same thing Boots went through, right? It's like, hey, bro, take it the way you can get it.
Yeah, and just defend it when it comes time.
That's it, bro. So at least he's about to get it, I believe. And when he gets it, I know he's going to be pushing for those unifications. He's going to be pushing for those fights against Rafael Espinosa, which I think is the biggest fight that could happen at 126 is Shushu Carrington and Rafael Espinosa.
You ever got a chance to see him fight live?
Shushu, no.
Yeah, man.
I met him before, but
he's everything that you feel like he is sitting at home watching from your TV screen. Got a chance to see him fight a couple times, man. And he got his pops, who got good family. He got good people behind him, man. That dude got an aura with him already. Like, I know he's a little older than, some of these guys, right? But he got this aura about him like he's been here before. I'm telling you, man, that dude be all business. Love his demeanor and approach to the game. and he's one of the most articulate young fighters, bro. He's fun to watch and easy to listen to in interviews. Definitely got to get him on the channel. We got to, Clay. Come on, man. We build the back, so we got to get rid of what's like on our own platform, bro.
Yeah, man.
Gotta do that.
2026, man, is gonna be a crazy year. Next week, I'm doing the best of the best of 2025 show that I'm gonna be doing. I'm hoping to get some creators on here. You know what I'm saying? And because the creators, we got our fingers on the pulse of what happened all year. We've been covering the sport all year. The ups, right? The ups, the downs, the Terrence Crawford moment, the Devin Haney redemption, right? Against Brian Noble, big deal. Knockouts of the year. There was some pretty good knockouts. This year, great fights, fight of the year. I mean, one of them that stand out in my mind is the Christian Mbele and Lester Martinez fight. That fight was wild. And there were other fights too as well that were there. Big knockouts. Shout out to Frank Martin. He got a knockout that's potentially a knockout of the year candidate. The way he laid out, you know what I'm saying? Rance Barthélemy. There's so many things. There's so many things that happened in 2025, and also what are we looking for in 2026? Is 2026 is going to be crazy. We still don't know where Top Rank is. We don't know where they're going to land ultimately. What their deal is going to be all the way. Obviously, you can't just look over Zuffa Boxing. You know what I'm saying? And what Dana White's getting ready to do there. You're always going to look in the direction of Turkey to see what he's going to do. He said the year is going to be crazy. He has some big cards he wants to put together. And obviously the big fight to start the year off and set it off, really. I mean, there's fights going on before that as well, right? Moses Atalma, the heavyweight division looks like it's going to move around a little bit now that Alexander Usyk looks like he's settling into like looking for his last bucket list fight before he probably heading into the sunset. So, all those guys are going to start coming together. The Geek Caballeros, the Moses Atalmas. Now we saw Lawrence Okoli put on his little performance over the weekend. He's calling out Moses Atalma. We got a new IBF or WBO champion in Fabio Wardley, who's just chaotic and just brings excitement. You just want to see him in the ring with some of the biggest opponents, and obviously all the usual suspects and the Martin Bacolis. And what's Jared Anderson going to do? Like, he keeps on like kind of like acting like I don't know what he's acting, right? Richard Torres. So many things going on in the heavyweight division. 154, Jerome Buchanan, Virgil Ortiz, that whole entire ordeal. How's that going to end up panning out? What's going to happen with Golden Boy in the zone? There's so many different things going on for 2026, and 2025 has been an exciting year as well.
I think Big Baby might have switched his trainer. I'm not sure. I think he might not be with Prentice. I think I got to double check that. I think I was hearing that. Somebody was saying he might have keep Prentice around for a little bit, but I think Anderson might have got a new trainer. And, he was living a little, still young and moving like it. And he had some stuff, certain guys, their biggest battles be outside the ring, and it'd be a them versus them battle. That's the best way I can say it without trying to say too much about the situation, right? Like, custody battles, wild little, stuff that'll really drain a man. Yeah, because I believe he has his daughter, if I'm not mistaken.
Anderson ain't on that card, is he? No.
Well, oh no, not Anderson.
Big Baby Miller, not Big Baby Anderson.
Yeah, Jarrell, not Jared.
I thought I heard Anderson. I don't know why I was just thinking Anderson, bro. That's my fault. I'm tripping.
No, that's not you. It's J.R. Spock in the chat who I just put up on the screen. He's saying Anderson fight got announced today for the T.O. Shakur undercard. I don't believe so, but shout out to the space to the community because they usually be on point. So he might be, maybe it's a late announcement. I'm trying to look right now to see if that's what the case is. Let me see here. Is that what it is? I don't think that's what it is. Hold on. Let me see. Boom. Tickets on sale now. Night of the Samurai. Oh, yo, this is a nice little piece of artwork here. This Night of the Samurai is looking crazy. I'm trying to find it. I don't see it. Breaking. Boom. 31st.
I see they're trying to make a fight with him and Jared. I mean, with him and Richard Torres, but I don't see anything announced.
Yeah, nothing was announced on here.
Let me look at news. Hold on.
It's for February 14th. February 14th.
For Jared?
Like Marius Calais.
Yeah,
like that.
I got it right here. Yep, same thing. Yep,
February 14th.
Mario Calais. On Benedict. No. That old?
So he's been having some like outside the ring stuff that been probably, taking up energy and shit.
That's old. That's a year ago because that was on the Davis Berichick card.
Is it?
Yeah, I looked at it. It's a year ago with a post on that one.
Yeah, he's not fighting nobody.
Thought he had a matter of fact. I know his name was in there with Frank Sanchez. I thought somebody said.
Yeah, but he from.
Somebody might have said that today, but I'm gonna double check. Don't quote me on none of that Anderson news, but I think he in the training. But y'all keep cooking, man. I'm gonna jump off and.
No, we about to get off too, man. I gotta go get some rest and set my alarm.
Work.
And he's got to go to work. We got stuff to do. Look, everybody in the building, I appreciate you guys being here wherever you at. If you're on Twitter, share, subscribe to the Twitter channel as well. By the way, if you haven't done that, make sure you do that as well. Follow us on Twitter. As far as here on YouTube, Facebook, same thing. Share on here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Hit the like button. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you for showing up. Pop up this morning, and tomorrow morning we'll be. I'm covering the fight. You know how I carry it. So come and hang out. Let's build. Let's watch some boxing, man. Ray, you got anything to say? Get the F up out of here.
Ready.
It is what it is, man. At this point,
we out.
I would make it this far, they hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball, I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say, I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life, I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back, you ain't fitting for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play the same. Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing, keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get big right, cause it can get please don't play no games with me, I promise I'm too much. Ay, I can never let up even if you had a